and enjoy a tradition begun with the first Accord in 1976. Ask about the least you can do. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Get as loud as you can for Monster Jam! The one and only Monster Jam. Packed with stunts, smiles, and jaw-dropping skills. See the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. Only at Monster Jam. Coming to Golden One Center this Friday through Sunday. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Savings available on select opening night tickets.
Hello, everybody. Talking to Chad Hoblet here of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Chad, what's going on for the Start Something New sales event?
As the new year gets going, getting the family everywhere they need to be can be challenging, but it gets a lot easier when you save up to $8,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokees. They are one of America's favorite SUVs for a reason. It doesn't just get the job done, it gets it done in style.
It's true. The Jeep Grand Cherokee continues to be loved by everyone I know who has one.
It's easily one of the best SUVs on the road today. Whatever you're looking for, Hoblet is the place to go. From new Jeep Grand Cherokees to hundreds of certified pre-owned vehicles at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter with over 100 vehicles under $30,000.
Time to start something new with Hoblet Dodge in Woodland. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$8,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee L after $2,500 factory rebates and $5,500 dealer discounts. Choose this net savings. VIN number 746-802 and 746-803. See dealer for details.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
KHD-KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson. Online at SactownSports.com or on the app. Kings, Niners, and Sacramento. The Matt and Kayla Show starts now.
We made it to our second Friday. Matt George, Kayla Anderson, Kyle Ledbetter behind the glass. Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
Kayla and I have learned something pretty quickly here in our infancy days of working at Bonte Hill, Sacramento. Friday is, I guess, work from home day because this building is empty.
Crazy, Matt.
Empty. Which, look, if you can work from home, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And we got amazing, we had everybody in the, it's a stark difference.
True.
We had everybody in the building yesterday for an all-staff meeting that we didn't get to attend because we had to do a show. Ew.
We got food, though.
We did get the tacos, so we got really the best part of the meeting, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh, just wait until you guys get a country in the park Friday.
Oh, let's go.
It is nobody in the building. It's just us.
So I've experienced that before, Kyle, because I was telling Kayla that when I used to work here for Bonneville, Sacramento, I was a production assistant. I worked with the wonderful Angie, and my voice was used on commercials and probably drove down sales for all of our advertisers. And I was considered a essential worker during COVID. Mm-hmm. So I was able to continue to come in and work my normal shift Monday through Friday. This was before my son was born, and I personally believe that kept me sane. Yeah. Like, a lot of people loved working from home, and it's funny. So many people talk about COVID fondly now, Kayla. Like, so many people are like, man, I got to play video games with my friends all the time. I got to work from home. It was so much better. But nobody during COVID, of course, was here. I used to wander this building during like a lunch break or just a 15-minute, and it would just be me and the ghosts. Like it was like maybe
and
a total
you
of...
say ghost, and you think you're joking
No,
about
there's
that,
ghosts.
by the way.
There's for sure ghosts here. We have a haunted stairwell that is right by a heater as well. So it's hotter than you know what.
This is the haunted gene factory.
Is that what it's called?
I mean, what did the machines eat them?
I don't know, but there's a ghost in that staircase in the corner, and that staircase is always 30 degrees hotter than the rest of the building. So yeah, I used to wander this building all the time. But we were talking about working during COVID because you worked during COVID as well.
I did, yeah.
And we started reminiscing about the night that COVID essentially happened, or the night that
That's
sports
the night
shut
when
down.
the lights went out
Yeah.
in sports.
Reminiscing is a word.
Yeah, we just started like talking about where we were at, and I was at the Golden One Center the night that the NBA shut down, the night that the sports world shut down, Kayla, because the Kings were about to play the New Orleans Pelicans, and this was a massive game because this was before the Kings had broken the playoff drought, and the Kings and Pelicans were like right in the mix for a legitimate playoff spot. And this was a huge game. So I remember driving to the arena. It's like big game. Everyone's excited. It's the closest thing.
You're kind of had the hype,
yeah,
right?
this is the closest thing to a playoff game that the Golden One Center has ever had. This is a massive game late in the regular season. And we get there and we're just reading all this stuff about Rudy Gobert getting sick. And then we're sitting courtside while warm-ups are happening, and all this information is coming out about this person has COVID, this person has COVID. The officiating crew that was officiating the game last night where there was a bunch of COVID outbreak is officiating the Kings game tonight. And it got to a point where like the Pelicans refused to come out and play because they didn't want to get sick.
Yeah.
So the Kings came out and warmed up, and there was no Pelicans, and we're just sitting here waiting, and then all of a sudden it was announced like they're shutting it down.
Yeah.
Like the game's not happening, it's canceled, the league is shutting down. That was a crazy, crazy night in sports, crazy night in the NBA, one of the weirdest experiences of my life inside the Golden One Center. But you experienced something similar in sports when COVID shut down for you.
Yeah, because we forget it was early March, right? And it was basketball season. And being in Nashville, Tennessee, a lot of the times the city hosts the SEC basketball tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Very big, gets a lot of draw there. And I remember I was I was in local sports at the time, and I was tasked to cover Tennessee basketball. And so I was doing what they call a live shot, setting up for my live shot outside of Bridgestone Arena where they held the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, and when I say whispers, I'm talking about the crowd that's waiting and coming in for this Tennessee-Missouri game, I think it was. You could hear people start to say, well, wait, and they're looking on their phones, and everyone's kind of checking what's going on. And then we're reporting live as this is coming through my ear from the directors, like this, there's a possibility that they're going to shut this thing down.
Yeah.
Sure enough, about a half an hour later, they postponed it. That turned into later that day that Greg Sankey, the commissioner, spoke and said, we're going to shut things down.
Yep.
And like you mentioned, you have that adrenaline. This is our lives. We cover sports, and you're so excited.
It's the night that everything shut down.
Yep.
Going to the grocery store, not being able to get canned food, or not being able to get toilet paper in California. Going to a Kings game in front of no fans where they pumped in crowd volume and there were just cardboard cutouts of people, including me. I had a cardboard cutout.
Did you really?
Yeah, in the Golden One Center at the time. I remember, I think Harrison Barnes hit a game winner. We have the champ, Christopher Laud's cardboard cutout there. Kyle's holding it up in the other room.
That's one of the cardboard
that was one
cutouts.
of them. Yeah, and I had one of them, and like Jason had
That's
one.
great.
We all had them at the time, and yeah, just so many just random experiences that happened during COVID that, again, people talk about COVID fondly. Now, I remember like Tiger King was all the rage.
Oh, I watched it all.
Man.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back, but I guess I understand people who are like, I didn't have to leave my house and play video games all day. That sounded great. So, whatever. COVID was a wild time, and I'm glad we're back to a sense. That first game back, I don't know how it was for you. The first Kings game after when fans were allowed to come back was just
wild,
like,
right?
It wasn't emotional or anything like that, but it's just that was the first time it felt like we were back to normal.
And
like
it took a while, even with fans back. You know, it took a while to get that energy back and that feeling of, oh shoot, is it going to be normal now from here on out? But yeah, a crazy time I don't feel like we ever need to experience again.
No,
So,
we're good.
Yeah, we're good with that.
Well, we got lots to talk about on today's show. In just a second, we're going to talk about Jonathan Kaminga. He hurt himself last night versus the Dallas Mavericks. Does it change anything in terms of Kaminga trade talks? And we're going to talk, of course, a lot of Kaminga today with Bonte Hill, NBC Sports Bay Area. He's the TV pre- and post-game host for the Golden State Warriors. And if you know anything about Bonte, you know he likes to talk his talk. He reps the Bay fully. I love the dude. We actually have family ties, loose family ties. I'll explain that a little bit later on. But Bonte, I'm sure, is going to have plenty to say when it comes to the Kings and their pursuit of Kaminga and the Warriors situation on everything. And if he finds out, or once he finds out Kayla is a Seahawks fan, he might have a few things to say to Kayla too.
Bring it, Bonte.
We're going to talk, I'm excited about Noon. Noon is always a segment that I encourage people to tune in for because it's our lunch break segment where you can talk.
We've gotten some new callers too.
Yeah, the calls have been fantastic. Thank you to everybody who's been a part of this new journey that we're on. We're wrapping up week 2. Oh, I'm on 2 4/5. We had Monday off. But we're wrapping it up, and thanks to everybody who's been a part of the show, whether you've called in, you're texting in, you're in the YouTube chat. You were all amazing. You can call in during our lunch break segment, but we're going to talk a lot about Domantas Sabonis in that segment. I finally have found a Kings-Raptors trade that I would be very happy with, so I'll share that trade with you, and then we'll talk a little bit about if the Kings don't trade Domas, and he is part of this rebuild, does he really want to be? Does Domas really want to be a part of this rebuild? Would he be a hostage or would he be a volunteer? We'll talk about that. We have our picks for the AFC NFC Championship games that are this weekend. Which quarterbacks have the most riding on these games? I'm very excited to hear both Kayla and Kyle's thoughts on that. We'll go around the NBA with different information for a bunch of different teams, including the Kings. A lot of it from Sam Amick, also some stuff from Sam Vecini of The Athletic, and debuting a new segment later at the end of the show called Kyle's Curveball, where Kyle, I don't know what it is. Kyle's just going to bring something to the table, and we'll be...
Should we be scared?
Yes, absolutely. We should be scared with what's going on in Kyle's brain over there. But let's start with Jonathan Kaminga playing against the Dallas Mavericks last night. Kayla, he twisted his ankle and also hyperextended his knee in one play. Did you see the clip of this when it happened? Not just the injury. Did you see what he did after the injury?
No, I did not see what he did after.
So he hurts himself.
Right.
And he goes to the nearest seat on the baseline to sit down because he didn't want to put any... But there was a little girl sitting in that seat.
Oh, I got it.
So he helps the little girl up and has her stand there while he sat in the seat. And her parents are sitting there smiling like, yo, come on, Kaminga. Like, there's anybody else. Don't take the little girl out of her seat. He didn't mean anything by it. He was talking to her. Like, I'm sure it was a great moment for her.
I'm trying to find it.
But
okay, here we go.
Oh my
goodness.
He just takes the girl out of her seat.
He literally takes her out of...
Excuse me.
That is incredible.
Excuse me, miss. I need to sit here because I just hurt myself. Can you stand here? And again, he's talking to her the entire time.
Oh, this is actually great.
It's not like he was like, move.
No, it was very gentle.
I was like, come on, Kaminga, there's 40 other seats there. Get mom or dad out of the seat. Don't get the little girl.
It was probably the easiest for him to like.
Yeah, it was the first seat in front of him.
I did not see that, and I just saw the clip of that. If you have not seen it, I encourage you to go look at it. It's
Jonathan Kaminga hates kids. Yeah. That's the takeaway.
He threw the kid across the court. That's probably what the Golden State Warriors organization is saying, right?
Yeah, Mike Dunleavy Jr. He has no trade. There's no trade demand for him because he mistreats children or something.
Chucked the kid across the court.
No, it was kind of a fun, organic moment that people were laughing about. But Kaminga hurts his ankle and his knee, and to be fair, Kaminga, for as young as he is, he's 23 years old. He's been banged up a decent amount over the course of his career. Nothing super catastrophic, but little bumps and bruises. He is putting off getting an MRI, it sounds like, until seeing how he feels. And I think that's very strategic by Kaminga and his camp because we all know Kaminga wants the heck out of there. And if there were an MRI that would reveal something pretty significant, he knows, well, no one's trading for me at that point. But I'll be honest with you, Kayla, unless it was like a catastrophic ACL, MCL, Achilles, something like that, which we know it's not. And the Warriors don't believe it's too serious or anything like that. Like, that's not stopping me from trading for Jonathan Kaminga because the price isn't going to drastically, he's hurt now? Okay, now you're not getting Keon Ellis or whatever.
Right.
Like, it's not going to drastically change anything. If he's out for 3 weeks, but the Kings still acquire him now, I'm good with it. It doesn't matter to me.
He didn't, what we know at least right now. Again, the reports were saying it's nothing too serious, but they wanted to initially do the MRI today, but you're exactly right. It's smart because I'm sure his camp was like, let's hold off on that. We're literally in the middle of the biggest time to trade and to do this thing and get this thing done, if that is actually what they're intending to do. So you do wait on that. I'm with you, and this is coming from a person, and Matt and Kyle and listeners, you'll learn this about me. I am a little bit of one of those people that too many injuries to me sometimes equates to I step back and I say, I'm not gonna mess with that. This is a different situation. I have no problems with this. If it was a situation where the Kings still made the move, it's a minor situation. They're not rushing to get Kaminga to the starting lineup here in Sacramento. They can take their time with him.
Let me ask you this, because I'm curious, because everybody has different feelings on this.
Yeah.
If it's repeat injuries, I feel that same, like, oh, he keeps messing up his ankle, or his knee is bad. Like, yeah, that's a problem. But if a player suffers just a bunch of, like what Keegan Murray's dealing with.
Sure.
Keegan hurt his thumb, I think.
Right.
It was one of his fingers. His thumb.
It's been like
something
every
on his
body
hand.
part, yeah.
Then he hurt. Yeah. Then he hurt his knee. He had a shoulder issue, a hamstring. It's just a bunch of these freak things. And Marvin Bagley kind of dealt with the same thing. It's just all these little random injuries. How do you judge a player based off of when they just get dinged up in a bunch of random ways?
Look, it's always best when you can be on the court.
Sure.
But not everybody can be Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan. I'll say this, though. The part that I start to be hesitant, that does not bug me as much as if it's like, unfortunately, just things happen.
Mm-hmm.
But when if it's a soft tissue type of thing, that was more so what I dealt with in football.
Yeah.
When it's a repeat soft tissue injury, there's something wrong. And I don't know if I want to further bet on that, because you're probably going to have that guy sitting on the bench or not playing compared to them actually being on the field or the court.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what the difference is in your mind between basketball and football in that sense, because basketball, like, injuries happen, and it's a physical contact sport, and it's high speed, a lot of jumping, a lot of in-air collisions. But football is car crashes over and over again.
Correct.
So I feel like I could be wrong here. NBA players get talked about more as being injury prone than NFL players, because you expect an NFL player to get dinged up. No NFL player is 100% healthy week after week. They have recovery days for a reason, where they don't practice and they just literally sit in ice baths or get their muscles worked on or whatever. So am I right in that the NBA has more of an injury prone label than in the NFL?
And I think that's more so because you guys are just every day. I mean, you're playing so much more, like you mentioned, in the NBA than you are the NFL. So when there is an actual injury, you have to kind of learn how to sit guys or let them nurse it a little bit, where you said there's a longer recovery time for some of these other guys that might just have a banged up knee or something. I can't believe some of the injuries, though, NFL players have played through. I think they downplay it a lot, too, in the NFL, where they're like, yeah, he's got an injury, but he's going to get out there and play. And then at the end of the year, we learn it was like this critical, like, shoulder thing where they completely played through it the whole season, or it's some sort of weird, ankle thing that they just continue to take a shot in the ankle and wrap it up. So I think it's downplayed more.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So Jonathan Kaminga has played, or before these last two games, he played one game for 9 minutes and 31 seconds between December 7th and January 19th. So basically didn't play for an entire month.
Yeah.
And he comes back. He played 9 minutes, almost 9.5 minutes last night before his injury. But in 31 minutes of action since coming back after, again, basically not playing for a month, he scored 31 points and shot 10 of 13 from the field. So a strong reminder of his talent and what he brings to the table. But a lot of people, we've discussed Kaminga a lot on this show. We've discussed Kaminga too much, period, in this city over the last almost calendar year since the summertime. But a lot of what hasn't been discussed is why the Sacramento Kings want Jonathan Kaminga so much. So I figure we could get into that a little bit too, because again, he's 23 years old. And there's timeline that's been attached to a Kings rebuild that Scott Perry hates, by the way. Scott will not
Don't mention the timeline.
Yeah, he will not put a timeline on it. But the general kind of rule of thumb is like a 3-year rebuild.
Sure.
3 years from now, you want to be coming out and into it. That doesn't mean 3 bad seasons and then you're good. It's like during that 3rd season, you want to be on the door of actually being a playoff contender. Not necessarily a championship team, but a playoff contender. If that, let's say that plays out that way.
Okay.
That means Jonathan Kaminga is 26 years old. He's entering the prime of his career right at the right time. And the thing that I've said with Kaminga over and over, Kayla, and I'm curious your thoughts, Kaminga is the right project at the right time for the Sacramento Kings. That's why Scott Perry wants him. Plus, he fills a position of need that the Sacramento Kings have desperately struggled to fill, with the exception of Keegan Murray.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that I kept forgetting how young he was, and it's amazing because it's like being at that age and you're still saying, well, he's still yet to be developed, and there's still so much of a ceiling or a high ceiling for him that he hasn't even reached yet, and he can reach maybe right here in Sacramento. This is a really athletic guy, like somebody I feel like if you tapped into this type of player with a guy like Doug Christie, and I know we'll get into this conversation later, I do feel like the young guys relate to Doug Christie and kind of accept the development that is going to happen.
Yes.
I think Kaminga has learned a lot from this situation also in Golden State.
For sure.
And by the way, he has been around really good veterans there.
Yes.
I.e. Steph Curry, the most out of all of them.
He no matter how it's played out there, he's learned a lot from Dre, from Steph, from Clay, even from Kerr.
Exactly. And so bringing him here, I don't think you're like completely restarting what he is or who he is as a player. You're just starting to build on it, but you're doing that because you're going to actually give him the minutes.
Yeah, what you're doing, in my opinion, is you're allowing him to flesh out what he believes he can be, and you can see how much of that is real and how much of that isn't.
Right.
Because I think a fair question to ask is, how much of a green light do you give him? Like, if Kaminga comes over at this trade deadline, before the Kings bring in, because they're not looking at Kaminga as the same way, I think, if they had a top 4 pick and they draft A.J. DeBonsa or Cam Boozer or any of these guys. Like, those guys you're looked at as the future star.
You better be what we really build around.
Kaminga, they're hopeful can be a part of that core, but I don't think they're looking at Kaminga as, like, you are the guy here. But for the remainder of the season, you and Keegan Murray, hey, green light, guys, shoot as much as you want because it's the experiment time. We're going to see. But that's where I think the Kings are the right team for Kaminga, because the problem that he has with the Golden State Warriors is he wants to shoot more. He wants to be used more offensively. He wants to be used more in isolation and in the post. And the Kings are the team that right now can give it to him, whereas the Golden State Warriors, I don't necessarily blame the Warriors for going, you're not going to have a green light here. We've got Steph freaking Curry. Fall in line. And Kaminga has to wear not falling in line as much as he should. But at the same time, the Warriors have, I believe, suppressed Jonathan Kaminga for a significant period of time to a point where it has frustrated him and his camp. And they have used that then to, I won't say ruin his image or anything like that, but I don't think the Warriors have been very fair towards their public perception or the public perception of Kaminga. So to me, bringing Kaminga to Sacramento, it's an experiment. It might fail. And that's why Scott Perry's not lining up to throw 2 first-round picks and a great player in the mix in order to bring Kaminga here, because Perry's aware of the risks just like everybody else.
And he should be. And Perry, I do feel like Perry is a very smart man. He's been in different places as a GM, and he's worked with different organizations even, before he became a GM. So he's been around the business. He knows that he can't just be like, I really want this to happen. I'm going to make it happen for nothing.
Yeah.
I think we're at the part of his career, too, where he's smart enough knowing I got to be smart how I do business, even if I really, really want a guy like JK. It's interesting you said, Matt, that there's a way that they could have balanced maybe bringing up Jonathan Kaminga and having him develop a little, but also still respecting the fact that you're around a guy and you're behind a guy like Steph Curry, and that just some things aren't going to happen overnight. And I almost relate it in a weird way to a quarterback, as in Jordan Love, who when he got drafted, Because again, first round draft pick, Jonathan Kaminga, they expect stuff. Like, when you're a first round pick, no matter what sport, in a way, you kind of expect like at some point you're going to be in there.
Yeah, my time.
It's my time.
Yep.
But then you have to really come to the organization's reality of it is like it might take time. Just like it took Jordan Love 2 years, 3 years to become the starting guy. Kaminga has kind of had to sit back and the patience hasn't really been there. So I do put blame on both.
Of course.
But at some point, this has been too long.
Yeah.
And that is where the break has to happen for him to have some sort of a rebirth in a place where I think he kind of wants to be, which I don't think many players say about Sacramento. And no offense to Sacramento.
No, you're right.
But I think those are the facts.
Well, I think Kaminga recognizes the opportunity here, just like Maxime, it's well understood. Maxime Reynaud and his camp chose the Sacramento Kings. The second round is not about where you get drafted. The second round is about where your agent negotiates you to go. Maxime Reynaud chose the Sacramento Kings because he thought he had opportunity to succeed here.
Yep.
Keon Ellis chose the Sacramento Kings as an undrafted free agent because the Kings desperately needed perimeter defense from their guards at the time, and look how well it's worked out for him, at least until this point. We'll see. Maybe it works out great, maybe it doesn't for him going forward, and we'll talk about, of course, Keon being traded later in the show, or the rumors around Keon being traded later in the show. But it's all about the timeline for the Sacramento Kings at this point. And Scott Perry is entering a period that is almost complete opposite from the final years of Monte McNair. And what I mean by that is time is on Perry's side. I won't use the P word. I won't use that word that makes every single Kings fan cringe.
I know. It's like, I think I had to really look up the actual definition of that one time.
Yeah. There's that word that okay, I'll say it quickly. Everyone cover your ears. Patience.
I thought you were to say prudent.
Oh, well, no, prudent. Yeah, no, that is Scott Perry's P word.
Yeah.
Prudent is Scott Perry's P word.
And opportunistic.
Yes.
But I was, for me, it's patience, because no Kings fan wants to be told, be patient. But Perry is operating at a time where he's not on a time crunch right now. He's entering into a time where he has to be patient and has to do this properly. That being said, he can't sit on his hands during this trade deadline, and we've talked about that a lot. But, I think back to the Keegan Murray draft. And the Kings were essentially deciding, the debate was between Jaden Ivey and Keegan Murray. And it's Jaden Ivey and this raw athleticism and athletic potential versus Keegan, who's not so much the great athlete, who maybe doesn't have as high of a ceiling, but is more NBA ready.
Yep.
The Kings went Keegan route. It was the right route to go. And they were in the playoffs that year, and he was a starter and a part of that, right? Now the Kings are at a time where prioritizing raw athleticism and projects is the right thing to do. So you bring in Kaminga's athleticism, great. Get him in the building, see what Doug Christie or whoever can do with Kaminga. You go out and get an AJ DeBonsa or a Peterson or whoever, Wilson, like these guys that are athletic freaks that there are certain elements of their game. Like, you can teach the skills. You can't teach the athleticism.
Like, Boozer's more of a he's already kind of ready.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the athletic
100%.
high ceiling.
If the Kings were a team like when in the Keegan Murray draft, when the Kings are on the doorstep and they have an established star in De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis was there, they're ready to make that step towards competitiveness. Cam Boozer would be like, yes, go, that's the guy. But the Kings are looking for a star, a stud, someone who has the potential to break through the ceiling here in Sacramento and carry this franchise for years to come. That's why athleticism should be prioritized. Kaminga checks that box. Again, not to be the number one guy, but an athlete that's a project. Kaminga's perfect for that.
Absolutely. And again, when you do draft, hopefully high up this year, and you do get in one of those other guys that are more of a raw talent guy, I feel like it could start to really work well together with this young core. And they all kind of know what their roles are going to be. We got to grow together.
Well, we're going to talk a lot more about Jonathan Kaminga with Bonte Hill from NBC Sports Bay Area. Of course, covers the Golden State Warriors pre- and post-game for the Warriors. I'm sure he'll have plenty to say about that. That's coming up at 11 o'clock. But coming up next, we're sticking in the NBA in terms of trade talk. Away from the Kings, though, Brian Windhorst talked about Giannis Antetokounmpo holding up the NBA trade deadline. He's absolutely right. And Bobby Marks walks us through the lack of trades this season. And it just speaks to the NBA moving in the wrong direction from where they should be going. That's all coming up on Matt and Kayla.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Award-winning guitarist and songwriter Gary Clark Jr. Tour 2026, Saturday, January 31st, 7 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. An electrifying night of music with Gary Clark Jr. Special guest, Marcus King Band. On sale at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit thundervalleyresort.com. Gary Clark Jr. Live.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
If you're serious about your golf game, then you need to know about Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Whether it's the TrackMan-powered player performance studio for your best fit clubs, or the cutting-edge technology putter fitting studio, or the free Ballnamic ball fitter and 3D foot scanner, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop offers you total game fitting from head to toe with equipment and apparel. Find your advantage at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop with the latest offering of new golf products in Northern California. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert, John Party, Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Line dancing, live DJs, mechanical bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram Center, and Fairfield in Cal Expo. More info at CITBfest.com.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Emran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
We are very excited to be spending our Friday with you here on Sactown Sports. Matt George, Kayla Anderson, Kyle Ledbetter taking you from 10 a.m. all the way up to 2 o'clock when we got the Drive guys. Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles taking over. But they have a short show today, Kayla.
Alan is at a wedding.
Oh, that's right. Alan's out of here.
Also, technically, I'll be taking you from 10 till 3.
Whoa.
Okay,
Kyle Ledbetter putting in overtime today.
Yeah, I do love you guys, but I also get to be a drive guy today.
That's crazy.
That's cool.
That's
Nothing
crazy.
against
Whatever.
it.
No, I whatever.
Well,
man.
Alan's not there, though.
Whatever, bro.
So we'll give him a little.
No, that's cool. If you want to be a drive guy, you just go be a drive guy. We don't care. Alan already said yesterday on the show that he turned this show off.
turned us off.
Now our producer's saying he's going to go be a drive guy, so it's like, whatever. Like, I don't care. I don't take it personally. I don't. I'm happy for Kyle. I'm just messing with you.
You didn't even know it was happening.
I didn't
until
know,
just
and
now.
now I just know. Yeah,
By the way, check your text because we might be playing a little game at the end of Crowds Talk.
I got some games.
I'm excited.
I got some games coming as well. Well, the Kings got some games coming. They start a 6-game roadie.
You want to play a game?
I want to play a game.
You want to play a game?
I'm going to be your saw puppet for Kyle's curveball.
Would you like to play a game?
One, that's terrifying. Two, Saw, the movies, the series, gross, but the story, insanely compelling.
Yeah.
Like the story of the Saw movies, like the mystery and the twists, really good. Saw, you'd think like writing in a movie about like just torturing people would be bad. The writing of the movie is pretty good.
Not bad.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I watched them in college, and
that's what
I
I
was
was
like,
saying.
I was like a little kid hiding behind my hands though, because that gruesome
I
stuff.
know I'm such
nah,
a baby when it
not
comes
me.
to. I love horror movies, but like I always cover my eyes.
Oh,
in the bad
see,
parts.
I am a horror movie junkie though.
So am I.
I love horror movies.
Growing up, that's all I did was like on Friday nights we'd have sleepovers, and I'd be like, okay, what horror movie have we not seen?
Oh, you were turning on Fright Night Theater with Whitey Gleason?
Oh yeah.
Do y'all remember the pop culture horror movie when I was in high school that everybody was afraid of?
Okay.
Was I don't remember the name of it, but it's about a babysitter who like is like somebody's in the house calling her.
Scream.
No, it's not Scream. No,
it's
that's
not
that's
Scream.
classic
Okay.
Scream. It's like when a stranger calls. Is that what it's called?
Oh.
When like she's like babysitting and she keeps getting calls and it's like this weird. It's very much Scream-esque.
Ish, yeah.
But then like the big reveal of the moment is like they track the phone call and someone tells her like the call is coming from inside the house. And in high school, of course, a bunch of babysitters and stuff like that, and they were losing their minds about this movie.
I have the description for it. Far away from the site of a gruesome murder, a teenager named Jill Johnson arrives at a luxurious home for a babysitting job. With the children fast asleep, she settles in for what she expects to be an ordinary evening. Soon the ringing of a phone and the frightening words of a sadistic caller turn Jill's routine experience into a night of terror. 8% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ayo, JJ.
Yeah.
JJ, I'm in the house. JJ, that's more Scream.
I just can't. Those things now, when just being alone and those, like you said, as a babysitter, I babysat growing up all the time.
Did you ever go see any of the Paranormal Activities in theaters?
Not in the theaters, no.
One of the best viewing experiences ever, where an entire theater of people is like, something's going to jump out and hurt me, and I don't care.
People were screaming.
Oh, Paranormal Activities in theaters. One of the coolest theater viewing experiences that I ever had was going and seeing, I guess it's technically kind of a horror movie, but it's not, A Quiet Place. Have you seen A Quiet Place?
That.
John Krasinski's movie with Emily Blunt. And
there's a couple of those.
Yeah, there's a few.
Mm-hmm.
But the first one, when it came out.
Yep.
And
I did see that in the theaters.
Watching it in the theater. And everybody is afraid to open a bag of snacks or take a bite of anything because you're like, shh. It's one of the coolest movie theater experiences is watching that because everyone. And I made a mistake. My wife and I watched that movie at Studio Movie Grill. Have you ever been to one of those?
I'm newer here,
Yeah,
so I haven't been to many of them.
You need to go. It's a great time. This theater, they serve you food. They bring you food.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
And watching that movie while clanging your fork against a plate and everyone's like, shut up.
Yeah, they're like, shh.
It was
it's
like no one touched their food for half the movie because everyone's like, I am not making a sound.
I know that feeling though, like when you have those types of movies and you just can't, you're waiting for something and you can't move.
Jump scares.
Yeah, one more real quick for you.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm going to date myself a little, but this was a thing, you guys. You guys are not going to know about this. But when I was young, there was a movie that got so much hype about being true that it became a phenomenon. And it was called the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, yeah.
And so I went and saw
Classic.
that in the theaters with my friends, and we all thought at the time it was a real thing.
Yep.
So the movie wasn't even that scary now if you go back and watch it, but because it was so hyped up that it was a real thing, it was it was scary at the time.
A Blair Witch, because that was like the first those camcorder movies.
Yes, yes.
Very, like, not a good movie at all.
No.
But very fun concept.
Right?
Yeah, no. The
but
Blair
not
Witch,
real, and
Yeah, the Blair Witch Project was great. My favorite horror movie of all time is Insidious.
It's
Have you
a
ever
good one.
Scary as you know what. There are some scares in Insidious that are terrifying.
For sure.
But there's some other horror movies that, like Midsummer. Have you seen Midsummer? It's like a daytime horror. Oh my God, Midsummer is a crazy movie.
I'll put that on my list.
Midsommar, I think is how you say it. But anyway, horror movie talk here on
It's been a horror
Sactown
movie for the
Sports.
Kings.
Great segue. And it's great segue, Matt. Kind of a horror movie or horror situation for the NBA, I think, a little bit, because the trade deadline is a time that is supposed to be like so exciting and so invigorating. And we're still getting the rumors. We're still getting reports. We're still getting smoke. So it's not like it's totally dead. But like we've talked about, Sam Amick talked about it with Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross last week. What makes the NBA, one of the few areas where the NBA can go, NFL, you can't touch us, is when it comes to trades and transactions and the trade deadline and free agency and stuff. It's a different ball game in the NBA. And this season has been pretty lame. And the
Is that a word we use anymore?
Yeah. The free agency period during the summer was very lame. And so far this season, this is from Bobby Marks, there has been one trade this season. Last season, there were 25 trades. The season before that, there were 27. Now, to be fair, we still have a lot of time between now and the trade deadline. But
we keep saying this, though, and I'm like, then every week goes by, and we're like, we're down to 1 week.
Are we going to have 20 trades in the next 2 weeks? Maybe, but I don't see that happening just with the landscape of the league. And a big reason for that is probably because of everyone's just sitting there waiting to see what happens with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Brian Windhorst talked about this on ESPN this morning, and he makes great points.
Giannis is the trade deadline. There is really not a lot of other players out there that can move the needle. There is very small to no market for Ja Morant or Anthony Davis. The entire league is watching Giannis. If Giannis ends up coming to market, yes, you would have a handful of teams making offers. But I think if he were to be traded, it would affect 3, 4, 5 teams because there would be ancillary trades. All of these front offices that I'm talking to are sitting on the sideline watching it. If it goes forward in the next 2 weeks, you will see a flurry of activity and potentially a changing of balance of power in the league. If it does not happen, I think some of it or a lot of it gets put off to the summer when I think Giannis will have to deal with the situation again.
See, Kayla, this is not new for the NBA necessarily, because there's always been like that one star that everyone's just waiting to see what happens. And of course, a lot of teams, like every single team in the league is interested in trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo. But there's only a very few that actually realistically can do it. Mm-hmm. And we don't even know if the Bucks still want to do it. The Bucks are trying to decide whether or not they want to go all in or trying to appease Giannis. And I mean, he is the face of that organization, the best player they've ever had. So they're going to ride it till the wheels fall off, of course, and try and keep him around as long as possible. But it makes perfect sense. Like the entire league, everyone's sitting there waiting. And it's not just, okay, where's Giannis going to go? But when that trade happens, how do we get in on it to get a little piece of the pie?
And that's why we could see with 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks left in the trade deadline, we actually could see something happen. And I'm not saying it's going to be the 26 moves that we've seen in the past or 27 moves, but this has been said from the jump. From the start of all of this, it was like when Giannis moves, then we're going to really see movement. Yep. And this is, again, the storyline weeks later, and now we're 2 weeks out, and it's still the storyline. So we're going to wait on something to happen with Giannis. Not saying that any other trades won't happen, but that's going to be the one that bursts the bubble.
I think we were all hoping the Trae Young trade would be the what led to the dam bursting. Like the door's open now, trades are going to start happening. But that trade was so inconsequential that it didn't matter. Like it was like, oh, Trae Young was traded to the Washington Wizards. Okay, anyway, now what is Giannis doing? So we'll of course keep track of this. We're going to go back to some Kings talk though, because Keon Ellis is likely being traded. He's not playing right now because Malik Monk is. It's always been a Keon versus Malik Monk thing, and a lot of question is, why not play both of them and have Dennis Schroeder not play? Well, I'll explain to you why that's not an option in the eyes of the Kings. Coming up next.
This is Bill Cartwright. Join us Thursday, February 5th at the Golden One Center for the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration.
This is the story of the One. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You ever notice how the other guys scream about massive discounts on their Dodge, Chrysler, or Jeep Ram vehicles? Then you get to the fine print and boom, another $5,200 in mandatory ads. At Hoblet, we don't insult your intelligence. The price you see is the price you pay. No mystery add-ons, no bait and switch, no gotcha when you sit down to buy. Hoblet, family owned for 77 years. Transparency, straightforward pricing. Buy it right, buy it at Hoblet.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Gradual breakers. You keep your eyes on the road, so you've seen it all. As long as it all happened directly in front of you, like a Swedish masseuse, your foot knows exactly the right amount of pressure to apply to the brake. That's why your passengers feel totally relaxed with you behind the wheel and occasionally super sleepy. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
You can swirl it, you can sip it, but the best way is to share it. Hey y'all, I'm Deanna, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You get that bold flavor of the Coke mixed with the smooth deliciousness of the vanilla ice cream. You have a juicy filet and a smooth, creamy float. It's an awesome pairing.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
You remember me from a show called And Joe? I'm back on the radio, Sacramento. It's Joe Mommy, and when you need your new country fix, join me weekdays from 6A to 10 for the Pat and Cody with Joe show on New Country 105.1 KNCI or on the free KNCI app.
Join Sactown Sports Downtown before every Kings game and pick up an In Shape Fitness Kings Rally towel while supplies last. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
Back with his thoughts and always manages to rile up Kings fans. So we'll talk to him about everything going on with this Kaminga situation, if he thinks the Warriors should have any interest in DeMar DeRozan. That's all coming up in the next segment. But for right now, Kayla, Keon Ellis is not playing. I've shared that I don't think Keon Ellis will play, barring either garbage time, which is almost insulting at this point, or a injury, which we hope doesn't happen, or Schroeder gets like suspended again for fighting Luka again or something.
That was kind of fun to talk about.
It was fun. I don't think Keon Ellis is playing another second for the Kings. And we're going to talk about Sam Amick's most recent article where he further laid out like the amount of teams that are interested in Keon and how it's only a matter of time before Keon's gone. Basically, almost certainly he's going to be traded before this trade deadline. But in the meantime, everyone's asking and everyone's so perplexed, like, why is he not playing? He seems to fit so much of Doug Christie's vision of the Kings. Why is he not playing? It doesn't make any sense. We were asking those questions when Mike Brown was still here too. And really with Doug, he's talked about the log jam and the standard and everything. And it's been very clear, only one can play when the Kings have all their guards healthy. It's either Malik or it's Keon. And last week, I shared with you the report that I got that the Kings have pivoted towards not shopping Malik, and they are...
And that seems to be reigning true.
Yeah, proceeding with Malik going forward, even though they're still not using Malik in his most ideal role. They were for a minute when Schroeder was out. And the question I get all the time is, well, why does Dennis Schroeder have to play? Why couldn't you play Keon? I mean, this team is terrible. This team is 21, something like that, games under 500. Why wouldn't you have Dennis Schroeder not play so that you can play both Malik Monk and Keon Ellis? And I don't think that's an option for a couple of reasons. One of them primarily being that for both Doug Christie and Scott Perry, doing that, I think, would be an admission of guilt. An admission that, hey, we probably shouldn't have brought Dennis Schroeder in. We probably shouldn't have given him the contract, even though it is a tradable contract and the last year is only partially guaranteed. We probably shouldn't have done that. I think it's very clear, Kayla, the Kings would have been just fine either signing Schroeder or Westbrook, not both of them, and having Monk play in his normal role as the secondary ball handler off the bench. They didn't do that. I just don't think that's an admission right now that the Kings want to make, especially with Dennis Schroeder likely still being part of this team going forward.
When you're a GM, when you're a coach, you're always going to have your guys, right? And you're not going to always have the whole full team of your guys. However, my point of kind of feeding backbone off of yours is the fact that, yes, I do agree that it's one of those things that Scott Perry had certain things that he did do this season, and some of it was obviously he drafted some young guys as well. But when you bring in some of those free agents, those are also tied directly to you. And there are some good things that he did. Again, he brought in Precious Achiuwa. Achiuwa has, I think, been a really big success story here for the most part when you go from your couch to what he's done. But I do think the one maybe not negative, but the one that's been questioned the most is the Dennis Schroeder move. Mm-hmm. And you're right, gave him a contract, not the most ugly contract, but then you sign Westbrook for nothing, and Westbrook essentially he outplayed Schroeder because now Westbrook is starting and Schroeder's coming off the bench.
Right.
So you're going to get that. I think they're never going to admit that part to you, but I think when you get an answer, if you were to directly ask them, they're going to give you the line too of like, well, Dennis Schroeder's a true point guard. We've got to have that. This is, why he was brought in. And when in reality, you kind of know what this season is going to be. You knew there was going to be a log jam in terms of guards, and now there's not really much sense making to it because Schroeder is kind of just there.
Yeah, there was a clear feeling, and it was very public from Perry and Doug, that when Perry took over this team at the end of last season, that there was not a point guard on this roster, and you needed to go out and get two. Devin Carter wasn't one. They gave him a chance to show it during the summer league, but it never really, whatever. They clearly did not think Malik was a starting point guard, and I actually agreed with them. Malik got a chance to start at the point guard position, didn't do a good job with it, but he had multiple years of showing a backup point guard role, a secondary ball handler off the bench role, was ideal for him. And for some reason, they felt like that wasn't good for him anymore either. And I think we can tell that Perry has a type, and scoring small guards like Malik Monk are not part of that type. Right. But Perry is going to stick with his guys, and the Kings are going to, at this point, focus and push their guys because so much of this roster Perry inherited. We can't blame him at all for Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan or any of these guys. But who's playing a lot? Russell Westbrook, Scott Perry guy. DeMar is too, and I know Scott Perry actually likes DeMar DeRozan.
It's hard not to like what DeMar is.
Right. But Dylan Cardwell, Scott Perry guy. Maxime Reynaud, Scott Perry guy. Neek Clifford, Scott Perry guy, his first draft pick. Moved into the first round to go and get him. Dennis Schroeder going to consistently keep playing because he's a Scott Perry guy. We're seeing the changing of the guard, out with the old, in with the new, and it makes perfect sense that Perry is going to prioritize, whether it's a good or bad thing, whether they're more or less talented, Perry is going to focus on, and Doug, by extension, because Perry hired him to be the full-time head coach, Doug, by extension, is going to prioritize the new guys that this regime brought in over the older guys, which is why, in my opinion, it's never going to be a Keon versus Schroeder or Malik versus Schroeder thing. It's always going to be those two against each other because neither of those two have anything to do with Scott.
And look, Matt, if there was a situation where like Scott Perry picks up the phone and someone is like, we really need Dennis, which is not a reality probably now. But I'm just saying, now, would he part ways with him?
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's not one of these situations where he's just going to be stubborn and this is his guy and he's going to be here throughout his contract. It's just like he's going to get the playing time while he's here over these two other guys that aren't his guys.
Yeah, and it makes perfect sense. Yeah, no one on this roster is untouchable. I've been pretty clear with that. The guys that the Kings would prefer not to move, that list is pretty short. It's Keegan, it's Neek, it's Max, probably Dylan's in that, I'd imagine too, because there's the future element to that. But are the Kings going to go, no, we're not trading Maxime Reynaud for Giannis Antetokounmpo? Of course they're not.
Right.
Everybody is available because this team is that bad. But Perry is going to prioritize moving the guys that he had nothing to do with over the guys that he actually brought in. And we're going to be able to judge Perry based off of the moves that he makes over these next couple of weeks until the February 5th trade deadline. And you best believe there's going to be a lot of harsh judgment if he doesn't really do anything or only makes minor moves. A lot of the Keon Ellis fan base here in Sacramento is not going to be happy with how Keon was treated and who he was traded away, and only time will tell whether or not that's a good trade or not that the Kings might have to wear going forward. Perry will be responsible for that. But all the veterans that are on this roster right now outside of Russ and Dennis had nothing to do with Scott. So that's why you're going to see those guys playing or competing against each other for playing time, not against Scott Perry's guys for playing time.
One quick question about Keon Ellis and Scott Perry. Yesterday, we had the conversation about how Scott Perry actually does like Keon Ellis. It's not like he dislikes him, thinks he's a whore. Does he like Keon Ellis because he fits those pillars and he could see him playing in a situation with this type of team? Or is it just he likes him, he has nothing against him, but he's still, to him, not a fit?
Here's the term I would use.
Okay.
I would say values Keon Ellis.
Fair.
And Keon's value at this point is more off the court in a trade market than on the court for this team. That's how I would explain it. He might be wrong, and Keon might turn into something great for a really good team, and the Kings are sitting there going, oh no, here we go again. Yeah, we did it again.
We did it again.
Right. But the fan base feels that Perry doesn't because he hasn't done anything bad yet here in Sacramento, according to him. So I would say it's values, but I do believe that if you were to ask me, does Scott Perry view Keon Ellis as part of the long-term future here? No, because short-term moving him is better for the future than keeping him around, I think, in Perry's eyes, because of what he can do with either the draft pick that he gets back or the contract that he attaches Keon to in order to move away. That's more important to Perry to start this rebuild than keeping Keon Ellis around. That's my read on the entire 100%. Situation. So we'll see. I would love to get Bonte Hill's opinion on Keon Ellis too, because everybody
am too. Yeah,
everybody seems to love him. Yeah. So we'll get Bonte's thoughts on Keon. I'm sure Bonte is going to have plenty to say about the Kings and their pursuit of Jonathan Kaminga and how the Warriors are handling the entire situation. And yes, sorry, Kayla, I'm going to tell him you're a Seahawks fan and just see what he does.
I'm ready to roll.
Bonte Hill joins us next to start the 11 o'clock hour right here on Sactown Sports.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off.
LeafFilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Right now at Elk Grove Honda, you can lease a 2025 Accord Hybrid Sport Sedan for only $39.99 down, including first payment due at lease inception, excluding tax and license. 35 monthly payments of $299 plus tax, license, and zero security deposit on approved credit. Mileage in excess of 10,000 per year at 20 cents per mile. It really is the lease you can do. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard, or on the web at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Get as loud as you can for Monster Jam! The one and only Monster Jam. Packed with stunts, smiles, and jaw-dropping skills. See the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks. Like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. Only at Monster Jam. Coming to Golden One Center this Friday through Sunday. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Savings available on select opening night tickets.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 916-619-3000 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
This Sactown Sports 49ers report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. 49ers season comes to a close in Seattle on Saturday, losing 41-6. San Francisco playing without all pros George Kittle, Fred Warner, and Nick Bosa, and the injuries proved to be too much to overcome. San Francisco finishes the year 13-6. As for Seattle, they advanced to the conference championship game, where they will take on LA, who defeated Chicago in overtime 20-17. Catch that game right here on Sactown Sports beginning at 3.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Good vibes on this Friday. Hope you're having as wonderful of a day as I and Kayla are here inside the Sactown 1140 studios. Matt George, Kayla Anderson, Kyle Ledbetter along with us. Great start to the show, and we have so much more to get into. Bonte Hill from NBC Sports in the Bay. He's going to be joining us to talk about this Kaminga situation. I'm sure it'll always be cordial. Definitely no nonsense talking between both sides, but Bonte's always a personality. He's wonderful. And Bonte, I shared earlier, like there are some family ties, weirdly enough, between myself and Bonte. So my cousin was best friends with Bonte in the Bay growing up together.
Whoa, Bonte in the Bay. Best friends with Bonte in the Bay.
Best friends with Bonte in the Bay.
Alliteration.
Sounds like a rap album or something. So Bonte and my cousin Jeffrey, who's a DJ, they grew up and were best friends together. And so I have that loose tie with Bonte in that sense, which I always like to remind him of. But Bonte's great. The opinions are always there. He always manages to rile up Kings fans just like I can rile up Warriors fans. That's like the true big brother, little brother, or just NorCal rivalry relationship. When the Kings and Warriors were in the playoffs at the same time, oh boy, did we have fun.
You're going back and forth and back and forth.
So much fun.
Yep.
That was a really, like, it could get nasty at times. Most people kept it cordial. It wasn't nasty between and Bonte or anybody. But
trash talking's good.
The fan bases could get, especially when our dearest or the wonderful man that is Draymond Green stomped on the chest of Domantas Sabonis and egged on Kings fans in the Golden One Center. That was a great time. But that was a really fun series and a really fun time where both teams were relevant at the same time for the first time ever. And now we're hoping that these two will make a trade for the first time since, what was it, 1993?
And I still cannot get over it. It's been since the 90s.
We don't help
were
y'all.
you even? I don't know. Kyle wasn't born. Were you born?
Nope.
That's disgusting.
That was a year before I was born.
It was a full decade before I was born.
I mean, get out of here.
Yep.
Get out of here.
Kayla, you were like 1.
You know, I'm never going to tell my age, but I will say I like to keep myself young.
You're like 28.
Yeah,
Relax.
you know, I always stay 28.
You're perpetually 28.
See, I'm glad you guys didn't ask me about where I was when COVID happened because that would just make you both pretty sad. Little later than that, but still will make
Were you potty training?
What is your high school graduation year?
Yes, give us that.
That would be 2019.
What in the world?
So when Mark Cuban was shocked on the court that the league was shutting down, I was in my freshman dorm at UC Davis.
Legally, I feel like we're not allowed to talk to him.
I think so too.
I feel like we might get arrested
for
talking to him. Uh-oh.
No, I was joking. I was like, I can't legally, can't legally talk to him anymore.
Turn the mics off. We're not talking. Yeah. Nobody's talking anymore. I'm fascinated to get into a back and forth with Bonte about this Kaminga situation because my natural instinct, just like a lot of Sacramento's natural instinct, is Warriors, you're being so freaking stubborn with this. Just get this across the finish line.
Yep.
But if I'm putting myself in the shoes of the Golden State Warriors, let's put it this way. That organization has operated so well for so long, and things just tend to work out for them because they either wait long enough, like in terms of the Jonathan Kaminga sweepstakes over the summer, there were all these threats. Kaminga wasn't going to sign. He was going to accept just the qualifying offer.
It was a soap opera.
Yeah, it was just this whole thing, and the Warriors like, nope, we're calling your bluff. We're calling your bluff. And it worked out for him. They got him to sign the contract that they wanted him to sign. But it was a contract that they felt they were going to be. They gave it to him so that they could move him at this time of year.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I believe the Warriors when they say, "Hey, like we're only coming on, or like we're only going to make this deal if it's perfect for us. If not, we'll just hold on to him for the rest of the time and deal with it." I don't know if the Warriors are stubborn enough to actually see it through, and for some reason, I feel like it just always works out for the Warriors.
I think stubbornness sometimes causes stupidity, and because I'm stubborn, but I know in my past in situations I had to learn to like, okay, Kayla, step down for a minute. You can't be so stubborn. I think this has gone on so long now, and now there's all these other chinks in the armor, whatever it is in the armor.
Yep.
Because now you're dealing with the Jimmy Butler situation. You're dealing with now a potential injury. Like, it's just get it done before this completely becomes the biggest disaster you'll ever have to try to fix.
Right.
Because it's already going in that direction. And if you have a team that's somewhat interested because nobody else is interested in the league, just make it happen.
But if you're the Warriors and you know the position that the Kings are in,
right?
Do you feel like the Kings will budge first? And to be fair, the Kings haven't budged throughout this entire time. They did so a little bit during the summertime, potentially adding a protected first-round pick on top of Malik Monk. So do the Warriors feel like the Sacramento Kings will budge? Will their stubbornness pay off? Bonte Hill from NBC Sports, Warriors pre and post-game. Bonte, it's a pleasure to have you on, my friend. So good to talk to you. Yo, tell your boys to stop being so stubborn. Let's get this deal across the finish line. You're not sending Kaminga anywhere else. Just come on. Like, let's get this ball rolling a little bit. Aren't we tired of this? Let's just make it happen.
You know, I only came on because I wanted to meet Kayla. I know she does a great job, and it's so good to see a woman's touch on this show. I was very skeptical when I saw Matt George pop across my text message. I said, oh, boy, here we go again. He wants Jonathan Kaminga for a bag of popcorn in a Gatorade bucket.
Hey,
not going to happen, man.
So what, y'all just gonna hold on to him and let him rot there? Just sit there when he doesn't want to be there? And by the way, Malik Monk's not a box or a bag of popcorn. I understand the Devin Carter, Dario Saric deal initially. I understand why that's being laughed at. But come on, the Kings want a tango. Dance with us.
Let me do this before I forget, because I do have some form of ADD. We all do in sports, right? Congratulations to you, Matt and Kayla. This show is going to thrive. I've listened to it a little bit since you guys started. Matt, I've known you for a long time. Kayla, I've read your story. Awesome, awesome stuff here, man. You guys are going to crush it in the middays up there in Sacramento. So congratulations to both of you, first and foremost, for getting this show on Sactown Sports. To your question about Kaminga, it's crazy what's going on, man, because I've been labeled as a JK stan, right? And I just like to report the facts. Matt, you know me long enough. The facts are, when he was 21 years old and the Warriors were 18-22 entering the game against Atlanta, he dropped 25 and 9, went 11 for 11, tying Chris Mullin's record for most field goals without a miss. The rest of the way, he played 35 in the next 42 as a 21-year-old, dropped 18, 5 and 4 while shooting 54%. And for some reason, there's this toxic dialogue in Dub Nation about whether or not he's good or that he just point blank sucks. He's the only player I've seen in recent memory where he can go into a playoff series against Minnesota after not playing for weeks. And you do what you did in the second round of the playoffs. The nation saw that. They say, wait, that guy's been sitting on the bench? So I don't buy the fact that there's not a place for him on this basketball team. With that said, the owner loves Jonathan Kaminga, Joe Lacob. He loves JK. And the last thing he wants to see is JK ended up in the state capitol playing for the Sacramento Kings. That is his worst nightmare. I'm telling you, man, nobody wants to see that. And then he goes and drives with the Sacramento Kings, because I do like a Keegan Murray, JK future for the Kings. But Joe Lacob doesn't want to see that. Now, in terms of teams being interested, I hear there's at least 4 teams being interested in JK. The Bulls, the Lakers, the Mavs, and the Kings. Now, the Kings have been the loudest when it comes to that. But I do believe everybody in the league saw the last 2 weeks after getting 16 straight DMPs, they seem like, wow, wait, that's not empty calories. I know there's columns being written that there's empty calories. Last night, he was going to walk into 25 points easy against the Dallas Mavericks. So the Warriors are in a tough spot right now, because if you do trade him now without Jimmy Butler for the rest of the season, well, that's a lot of firepower to try to replace in just such a short time. So the saga continues, and now we await an MRI on Jonathan Kaminga with the knee or the ankle.
Yeah, it's just like the soap opera that never ends, because they always go on forever. Bonte Hill, NBC Sports Bay Area, kind enough to join us on the Matt and Kayla Show. So that's what's interesting, because you said there has been kind of some negative talk around Kaminga the person, Kaminga the basketball player. But recently, I feel like that narrative has kind of shifted, Bonte, because now you got former players that are coming out and speaking about this is more of a Steve Kerr not liking him for some reason. It's a stubbornness. What is the realness behind that situation?
Yeah, I feel like Jon Snow in Game of Thrones when Ramsay's crew was coming for him and he just takes out the sword. That's me against JK haters every single day. And I'm like, dude, I'm not a stan. I just know what my eyeballs see. And I have the luxury, it's not a flex, but I have the luxury of watching every game with Chris Mullin, who's in the Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame. All right? He knows basketball more. He's forgotten more about basketball than we'll all three ever know. So when he says, I recruited this kid to St. John's, he can play. He can play. When former players, Eddie Johnson, I sat with him for breakfast a couple months ago. He goes, that kid can play. But once a coach and a player lose trust in each other, that relationship is done. So I can't really pinpoint, when that situation went awry. I could speculate, I could guess, and it may have been when JK, it was a couple of years ago. Remember Jokic hit the half-court shot to beat the Warriors? They went on a 25-4 run at Chase Center. Well, JK didn't play the last 18 minutes of that basketball game. And I believe he had like 18 points. You can look this up. He was playing really well. And he's like, when I'm good, it's not good enough. And that's when he went to the press and they demanded a trade. Steve Kerr and JK had a meeting. And from that point on, they've been cool. They've been cordial. But it never felt like that relationship was 100% solid ever since that moment, because it just felt like rug just got pulled from under him. Like, he was playing well before he injured the ankle last year. And I get it. Jimmy came aboard. And a lot of people say, well, he can't play with Jimmy, the spacing, Jimmy and Draymond. Well, it was proven that he can't play with Jimmy in the playoffs, and nobody talks about the players who didn't play well. So that relationship with Steve and JK, and you could tell Steve is fed up about it because even yesterday's presser before the game, he begins by saying, go ahead, ask the Kaminga questions. Ask the Kaminga questions. He brought up his mother. He goes, my mom doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't ask me about Kaminga or the rotations or whatnot. So there's definitely been a level of annoyance from the both of them. JK, it stands. He doesn't want to be with the Golden State Warriors. He wants to be and try to help somebody win and impact.
I think, Bonte, you got us still breaking up a little bit there towards the end. Oh, I think we lost Bonte Hill. I'm looking forward to when we get him back on, whether it's on the phone or via the internet connection. Bonte, you got us? You there with us?
I got you. Sorry about that.
You're totally fine. So, you were talking about the exhaustion from Steve Kerr. I don't blame you. Everybody's exhausted talking about this topic. That includes Dunleavy Jr. I thought his comments the other day before the game were pretty wild to say. Like, in order to make a demand, you have to have demand. Well, now that's a bar. Don't get me wrong, and I appreciate Dunleavy for keeping it 100, keeping it real. I just thought that was a pretty crazy thing to say, given
when you make a demand, there needs to be demand.
A pretty crazy thing to say, given the circumstances of everything that's been going down over the last almost year now with this situation. What were your reactions to Dunleavy Jr. saying that? Because he's, of course, at the helm of a Warriors organization we were talking about before you came on. Typically, things end up working out in their favor the longer and the more stubborn that they are. But I thought that line, and then I think Kaminga has liked a post about that line on Instagram somewhere too. What were your reactions to Dunleavy Jr. dropping that bar?
I was stunned. Absolutely stunned that Dunleavy said that because he's usually guarded and tight-lipped. And you don't see a president of basketball operations or a GM say something like that and kind of sabotage the own value of JK. It was crazy to hear Dunleavy say that because, again, he's usually cool, calm, and collected, taking a page out of Bob Myers' book, who was the former president of basketball operations with the Golden State Warriors. So it was shocking to hear that, saying that there has to be demand. But here's the thing. People don't look at it from the other side of things. I try to look at it from the other side. The opponents, the opposition, 31 other teams, they know that the Warriors have a burning house right now. They know that they're trying to offload JK. So why would they just bang on the door for Jonathan Kaminga saying, oh, let's just give you whatever you want for JK? They're not going to be desperate. The Warriors are the desperate partners in this party. So I was a little stunned that Dunleavy said that. But again, the opposition, they don't have to do anything right now. They could sit back and wait and see if Dunleavy would just give JK away for the cheap. So I do think there's interest in JK, but right now we're 2 weeks away from the deadline. You don't have to be high in demand. If you're in opposition, you don't have to bang down their door and say, hey, here's 2 first-round picks for JK. You could wait until the last second before that deadline to make your move here. So
looks like we lost him again. Let's try and get him on the phone, Kyle, if we can. We'll get Bonte on the phone here in just a second. But yeah, I'm glad Bonte's looking at it from the other side too, because teams really can afford to take their time.
Yeah.
And really put the maximum pressure on the Warriors here. But at the same time too, one of the things I want to talk to Bonte about is how the Warriors can potentially mend bridges enough with Kaminga for the next at least few months to get us through this season, and then we can revisit this in the summertime.
Revisit this again. And I like coming from that perspective of somebody who is in Golden State, covering Golden State, I should say, and can kind of be a little bit more biased on his end with the Kaminga situation because, again, we have heard a lot of shots taken at Kaminga. This is another guy, though, that covers him on a daily basis, knows basketball, and is saying this is more so this guy can play. He just needs to be given the full opportunity to showcase this. The stuff with Steve Kerr is wild. How one little thing in this business can kind of set a coach off or set a relationship off where it gets to the point we're at now. Because if this was never a thing, we wouldn't be talking months on months end about where is Kaminga going to end up or how do we get him out of Golden State. But here we are because of, it seems like, just one situation.
It's been a wild ride, and I think everyone's just exhausted waiting for the conclusion of this ride whenever it happens. We're working on getting Bonte Hill back on the show with us. Plenty more to talk about with him. But I don't blame anybody for being exhausted by this. Look, part of me is exhausted talking about it. Well, Matt, you're bringing up every single show. Yeah, because it's topical, and it's clearly important to the Sacramento Kings, who are handling this situation with a lot of patience. And looks like is Bonte back?
Bonte back.
I am not able to take him, Kyle. I don't.
It's like a.
Oh, he's back on the stream.
We got
Bonte back on the stream. Bonte, I don't know. It could be our internet. It could be your internet. It could be the people of Silicon Valley wanting to shut this conversation down to make sure that Jonathan Kaminga can't come back over here. But one of the things I wanted to ask you, Bonte, was the DeMar DeRozan has been brought up, and let's be completely honest. By the way, Bonte Hill from NBC Sports from the Bay talking to us pre and post for the Golden State Warriors. There's no replacing Jimmy Butler. There just isn't. But we've heard these rumors or this talk of, hey, maybe DeMar DeRozan could be interested. Or what I wanted to ask you about is there because Kaminga's been a pro throughout this entire thing in terms of not making a stink, not pouting on the bench or anything like that. Is there a Band-Aid, a temporary fix that both sides can come to in your mind where it's like, let's just ride it out the rest of the season. We need you with the loss of Jimmy. We can revisit this in the summertime, but let's make it work and let's try and make the playoffs together right now. Do you think that's a legitimate option with the Warriors?
I don't think JK wants to stay here for the next 2 weeks because there's just no guarantee he's going to get consistent minutes. You know, like he's only had 46 games over the course of his career in which he's played at least 30 minutes. And when he has gotten 30 minutes, he averages over 20, 50% from the floor, 5 rebounds, a couple assists, and he gets better. That's what any player does with minutes. They get into a better rhythm. They become more accustomed to the game, and that's been the case. I mean, I'm not saying JK is a perfect player. He needs to work on his ball handling. When he's on the perimeter, he gets lost. Defensively, he has to be on the ball right now because when he's not on the ball, he gets a little lost in the sauce, right? So, but that's any young player in the league. The problem is when you're a young player playing next to Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, there's these championship aspirations, you don't have a lot of leeway to play through your mistakes. That's why you look at everybody in this draft class, the Jalen Johnsons, the Trey Murphys, the Kay Cunninghams, the Franz Wagners, the Josh Giddeys. I'm not saying JK would have been one of those players, but he also didn't get the same opportunity as those players to play through their mistakes. So, look, I see this divorce. It needs to happen for both parties. It just needs to happen. Now, you brought up DeMar DeRozan. That is such the antithesis of what Steve Kerr wants. Like, Steve Kerr doesn't want a ball holder. He wants 0.5 basketball. I love DeMar, but that system, the type of style that DeMar plays is just not what Steve Kerr wants. So I don't see that happening for the Golden State Warriors at all. I think they just may have to ride this out unless there's some sweeping proclamation that Giannis makes within Milwaukee saying, I want out, and the Warriors have 5 of their next 6 first-round picks that are unprotected, and they go all in for Giannis. But I don't see that happening either. So I think the Warriors may be hell-bent on just riding this out without Jimmy.
Bonte Hill from NBC Sports Bay Area, kind enough to join us. Bonte, okay, I know this is going to be hard for you, but I'm asking you to do a challenge here. Let's say that it is the place to be in terms of Sacramento. Like, that's where JK ends up being. How do you feel he would fit what they're trying to do moving forward?
Well, with Keegan and JK, I think that's a good starting point. You get a point guard alongside of them. Keegan can shoot it, space the floor, play on both ends, right? We saw him be at the point of attack defensively, guarding point guards, 2 guards. And you build around Keegan, which is why I didn't like the DeRozan signing last year. I didn't like the trade for Zach LaVine, just from afar. I just thought it took away from Keegan. Keegan needs the ball in his hands. You already have Sabonis. You had Fox. You have Monk. Where's that leave Keegan? And then you invest a max deal for Keegan Murray, and you got all these guys who needs the ball. Dennis Schroeder, Russell Westbrook. So the fact that if you do start over in Sacramento and you had a starting point of a 23-year-old Jonathan Kaminga and Keegan Murray, you go get you a solid point guard alongside of them, and now you got something to build off of. JK, without even knowing how to play the game the right way, is walking into 20 points a game. And people say it's not all about points. It's not about points. And I get that. I understand that completely. You need a little bit of defense, no doubt about that. But the game is about getting buckets. Let's be real. There's 450 players in this league. 32 average 20 a game. That's 14% of the league averaging 20. And people say, oh, it doesn't matter because anybody could average 20. Well, only 32 players average 20. It must not be that easy. So if that would be Joe Lacob's nightmare, that'd kind of be my nightmare to see Jonathan Kaminga up there lighting the beam next to Keegan Murray one day. So I think it's a good starting point, Kayla. I really do.
Bonte, before we let you go, I'm not trying to start nothing.
Oh, yes, you are.
I'm just being a journalist.
Oh, he is.
I'm not trying to start nothing. No. But you said nice things about Kayla, and you said somewhat nice things about me. Kayla, do you know that the team that Kayla supports, that the Seattle team that may have just eliminated your San Francisco 49ers, did you know about that? And you have any thoughts on that? And just also in general, man, what a wild ride of a season for the 49ers. Fun, chaotic. Just what do you make of just how this season went and Kayla being a fan of those birds up there?
Yeah, I never thought I'd root for the Rams. This is just a nightmare.
You're one of three fans,
man.
Bonte.
I know, right? They don't have any. At least I know the Rams won't bring any fans to the Super Bowl. But if Seattle wins, the 12 flags are going to be everywhere in the Bay Area. And you know what? What made it worse is spending the night up there in Seattle and hanging out up there at Lumen Field. Seahawk fans were actually nice.
Oh, no.
Nice.
Gross.
Like they were like I took so many pictures with Seahawk fans. Like, hey, man, we watched the Warriors, man. Appreciate what you do. They were actually nice. And they kicked their ass 41-6. It could have been a lot worse. So it's nothing worse than getting your ass kicked by 35 points and having people, oh, man, don't worry, we're the better team. But hey, San Francisco, we love it. Like, they were just so nice and it made it worse. At least be like Philadelphia and rub it in. Right. And call me all these names and throw something at me. Make me feel like that I'm not wanted there. But instead they're like, oh, would you like a drink? Hey, you know what? This was on the house. Like, what is going on up here? Oh, it was a great season, considering everything that happened for the 49ers. But I don't want to see those 12 flags at Levi Stadium. I really don't.
It is weird, I'm not even going to lie. Like, my mom, by the way, is from the Bay Area. She's from Walnut Creek area. And so I've always kind of paid attention to sports around here, even growing up in Washington State. And it's funny, though, you say that, though, because I am in a household in terms of my sister-in-law's from Sacramento, and all her families are 49ers fans. So right now, they don't know what to do with themselves because my brother and I, and my other family members, they're all Seahawks fans. So right now, they're like, really? Are you guys going to invade us with all of your colors and all that? And I'm like, well, maybe. What are you going to do about it now?
Yeah, and that's a good team. I mean, that defense is so good. Mike McDonald seems to have Shanahan's number. Yeah. I mean, literally, Brock Purdy had nobody to throw to. I mean, they were locking up everything. And that place gets loud. I love the area around Lumen Field. I was also jealous of that. I'm thinking, I got to go to Levi Stadium, which is 45 miles away from the city. I'm in San Bruno. It's about 40 minutes away from me. And there's nothing around Levi Stadium. And you go by Lumen Field. There's T-Mobile Park. There's all these bars. You can walk from downtown. The setup is just beautiful. It's perfect up there. And they got some cool throwback jerseys. They have Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm a little jealous of the
Dang, Bonte, we might need to convert you, my brother.
Oh, no.
That's never happening. It's never happening.
Bonte.
Look, Kayla, let's come on now.
While you were in Seattle, though, did you see any electric substations anywhere near the building? And can you build one over there? Maybe that's what we got to do. Just get those everywhere.
Hey, Matt, you know what's funny? I was picking up In-N-Out for my daughter. She loves In-N-Out. So we go to In-N-Out, and there's like these electrical towers. And I posted it on Twitter. I said, is my daughter safe?
Yeah, don't eat those burgers.
Yo, they're like, if the burger's soggy by the time you get out, don't eat it.
Yeah, don't eat that burger. You're going to tear your ACL getting out the car.
Hey, the cashier's questionable.
Yeah.
Thumb injury. Substation. It's unbelievable. Oh.
Bonte, you're the best, man. You're the absolute best. Thank you so much for being part of the early starts of this show. We model, or at least I model so much after all the success that you and Joe had on the 95.7 The Game, the morning roast over there, my man. I can't wait to do this more with you, especially when we get around to the latter parts of whatever this Jonathan Kaminga saga ends up being, and of course baseball season with the Giants and the
they got Tony Vitello down there now.
Yeah.
Tony Vitello. Look, you're excited about that. Yeah. Look, real quick. First of all, I'm sorry about the spotty Wi-Fi. I need to pay my internet bill.
You're fine.
Number two, the Giants. We can't go into the season being excited about the manager more than the players on the team. We got to fix that. We got to get some dudes in here. All right? We got to get some dudes in here. But again, much success to you guys. I love having a woman on sports radio. I've always tried to model that, having Kate Scott in my college years, always having a female, because your voices matter so much in this boys club that we call sports radio. So much success to you, Kayla. Matt, whatever.
Bonte, you'll be shocked to know, one, she carries the show, and two, when it comes to the A's fan base, we're just excited about having Sacramento on a shirt this year. So look, that's what we're working with over here, my man.
Oh, man. I'm glad you didn't ask me anything about Lord of the Rings, because you would have stumped me. So
listen,
that's that.
one step at a time, man. We'll get there. During the off season, we'll have you over and watch the films with me. It's a pleasure to talk to you, my guy. Have a great one. We'll talk soon.
You too, Matt. You too, Kayla. Have a good one.
Bonte Hill is the absolute best. We'll take a break. When we come back, the Sacramento Kings still have a lot of veterans on this roster. Who do we want gone? Who would we most be happy with staying here? That's all still to come. Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
The 10th annual Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration is Thursday, February 5th at the Golden One Center, inducting the class of 2026, plus honoring all of our past inductees. See Sacramento's 50 greatest athletes of all time.
This is Bill Cartwright.
This is Jerry Royster.
This is Tony the Tiger Lopez.
This is Dusty Baker, proud member of the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame. Join us Thursday, February the 5th at the Golden One Center for Sacramento's best sports night of the year.
Get your tickets now at sacsportshof.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CRV, HRV, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
At InShape, there's a place for every kind of mover. The Sometimer, the early riser, after-work grinder, the yogi, lifter, walker, runner, sauna seeker, recoverer. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
You remember me from a show called And Joe? I'm back on the radio, Sacramento. It's Joe Mommy, and when you need your new country fix, join me weekdays from 6A to 10 for the Pat and Cody with Joe show on New Country 105.1 KNCI or on the free KNCI app.
Catch all the action at Sky River Casino. Enjoy over 80 table games, more than 2,100 slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room. Plus, with 18 elevated restaurants, bars, and lounge destinations, and Sky River rewards that add up and up. There's something for everyone. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun and experience new heights. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing, live DJs, mechanical bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler, Dodge Jeep and Ram Center, and Fairfield in Cal Expo. More info at CITBfest.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The new year is a great time for reflection, to appreciate all the good things in your life, and to prepare your resolutions, or bucket list as I like to call it. 2026 would be the perfect time to introduce someone new to the game of golf. Let them in on the fun. Or if you've never played, it's a wonderful time to start. Maybe go to a driving range, maybe take an introductory lesson. If you're an established golfer, maybe you want to get fitted for a new set of golf clubs. Maybe you want to take some refresher lessons to sharpen up your game. Consider a golf getaway, either with your significant other or a group of buddies. It's a great way to play new golf courses, eat some tasty new foods, and certainly laugh a lot with your friends. If you normally use a golf cart, consider walking with a push cart, or maybe even lightening your bag and carrying your golf clubs. Go back and play where you played your first round of golf, or your all-time favorite round. Remember why you play the game and how much it means to you. Leave the course in better condition than you found it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Emran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Yo, listen, I understand. And everybody's out there. Everybody's out there hustling. Everybody's out there doing their thing. And I genuinely, I don't have a problem with aggregators or anything like that. Do you, social media accounts, news spreads, it is what it is. That's just the day and age of the world.
The internet.
But look, I don't have any issue with Evan Sidery. I don't know him. I've never interacted with him. But if we're putting out tweets like, the Kings are aiming for a full-blown fire sale at the trade deadline, Domantas Sabonis, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Keon Ellis, Malik Monk, and Dennis Schroeder are the players on Sacramento's roster available for the right price. Sacramento wants to blow it all up and rebuild. Wow! Breaking news! The Sacramento Kings are trying to rebuild, Kayla. Did you know that?
I never have heard of this.
Did you know that Domantas Sabonis and Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan and Keon Ellis and Malik Monk and Dennis Schroeder are available for the right price?
I thought they were lifetimers.
Way to put your neck out on the line there, Evan. You know what? Breaking news from Sactown Sports.
That's breaking.
Water is wet. Breaking news from Sactown Sports. The sky is blue. Breaking news.
Well, not in Sacramento.
You need air to breathe, Kayla.
Or snorkel.
Breaking news. Aggregate that. Put it out there. Again, no disrespect to Evan. I know you're doing your thing.
That
Brother,
really got you going during the break.
Keep hustling. But what are we doing here? We've been talking for months that the Sacramento Kings are trying to blow it up. And look at their record. No, everything's going great here, Kayla. Run it back.
They're a playoff team.
Keep it going. Hey, they are one undefeated for the remainder of the season win streak away from being like a 5th seed.
Yeah.
Everything's
fine. They're going to do what's never been done before.
Come on, y'all, man. Let's do better here. Let's do better. Everybody is available for the right price. That's not news to anybody out there. Shout out Evan. I mean, I know you're doing your thing.
Well, he
brother.
got some airtime just now. So there you
he's
go.
doing the right thing. But I'm just gonna start tweeting out. Did you ever follow Magic Johnson on Twitter?
Yeah.
Magic Johnson just tweets duh.
Somebody else did that too, like a professional athlete.
Yeah, they just tweet I'm sitting at my house eating a sandwich. Hey, cool.
O.J. Simpson would do that.
Yeah, well, I'm not insulting him. I don't miss. No, O.J., you're good with me, man.
He's not around anymore, but.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Also, I don't want to tell you that Santa Claus is real, but Magic Johnson doesn't actually tweet.
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah.
But
he's got somebody else doing it for him.
Hey, actually, you know what? I'm going to aggregate right now. Santa Claus is not real. Send tweet.
Well, Matt's just lying to you.
I'm about to aggregate that.
Yeah, if you're listening, he really is.
Breaking. Tooth Fairy, not real. It's your mom when you're sleeping.
I thought you were a journalist, Matt. Why are you lying to the good people of Sacramento?
I'm not a journalist. I'm an aggregator. Just going to aggregate. Aggregate away. Aggregate and agitate. That's what I do here on Sactown Sports. Huh? But, I mean,
that was fun.
Evan's not wrong. I guess.
Well, no, he's not wrong because that is something that they would like to do,
Yes.
but that's in an alternate, universe.
Hey,
that's going to happen.
that's friend of the station, Evan Sidery.
Not on this show.
It's been on the air multiple times.
Killed that relationship real quick. And maybe Evan knows stuff, but that is like, congratulations, bud. But we do know that the Kings do have all these veterans. They would like to move the vast majority of them. They're not going to be able to. I mean, I would be very surprised if the Kings pull off, truly, if the Kings do multiple different trades, like more than one, then I will be happy with it. And I will be surprised by it. Not because I don't believe Scott Perry can't close a deal.
But it's just, this is what we're working with.
Yeah, the state of the NBA.
Yeah, it's the whole NBA.
Now, if it's one trade, but it's a significant trade, like for Kaminga, or it's DeMar DeRozan plus Keon Ellis on top of it in order to move on from his contract, or the Kings are somehow able to move on from Domantas Sabonis or something like that. If it's one trade, but it's a big thing, then good.
Yeah.
If it's just Keon Ellis for a late first round pick, that's not a bad trade, I don't think. But if that's it, I'm like,
there's going to be disappointment here.
Right.
One, because you've mentioned a name of one Keon Ellis who is very beloved. And even if you are shipping somebody out here that's what fans would like to see, some movement. It's kind of like the one person people don't want to see shipped out. And like you said, for the return, we don't think it's going to be incredibly great. So it's not exciting at all.
Yeah. And so let's do this, Kayla, because this is going to be a very popularity contest, and it's going to open the door for low-hanging fruit criticisms for people. And I'm genuinely not trying to do that. I'm thinking from the organizational standpoint. You have these list of veterans, and let's mainly focus on Malik and DeMar and Domas and Levine, and I don't even want to put Russell Westbrook in there because I don't think Russell Westbrook's going anywhere. I don't think he's going to be traded. And then so we'll put Dennis Schroeder in there.
Yeah, that's
in terms
fine.
of like ranking from who you would most like, or the Kings would most prefer to keep around to least. Let's just start with the most to make this more of a positive than a negative conversation. Because a lot of people are going to go, Zach LaVine's at the bottom, probably because of his contract, or his fit, or whatever. But if the Kings are thinking, we're not going to be able to move on from all of the veterans, and there are certain veterans that we think could help us most with this rebuild. Who jumps to mind for you?
So the one that you want to stay right now.
Yeah, or you would be the most okay with, or the Kings would be like, he can really help us in this rebuild process as we begin it.
I honestly think Russell Westbrook. And I might get some pushback on that because people are like, okay, we don't need to see him break another record. That's what he's going to be known for here. Look, I don't see that he's doing more help just with other things than he is harm. I think with him, he is a guy that's a veteran presence that if I want my young guys to learn from somebody on how to play, on the mentality, on how to keep your body right, on all of those things that come into the bigger picture when you're, in your 30s and playing at that level, I want him to learn from somebody like Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
And look, on some nights, is he getting too many minutes? Yeah. And there's the things that he does still that drive fans nuts.
Like
the
taking
turnovers,
22 shots?
Yeah. But overall, if I'm going to compare that to other veterans right now on the team, I think he does more help for this team right now than he does harm.
Well, one, Dylan is what in the world? Russell is extremely well respected in that locker room.
Yeah.
Like there was that.
You talk to these guys. That's a great note.
Yeah, and there was the photo that came out. Because have you seen this 2016 trend where people are posting their pictures of what they look like or what they did in 2016?
We should do it, and no, I haven't, but we should do it.
I'm terrified to put any of those pictures
Maybe
up there.
we might be doing it
I think
later.
we're going to do it.
Oh,
Did I just give him fuel for his game?
Spoiler, Kyle's Curveball coming up, the debut of Kyle's Curveball towards the end of the show in the 1 o'clock hour. There's a picture of Neek Clifford holding up a Russell Westbrook jersey that he got for Christmas.
Yes.
And he loved Russ, and now he's playing with Russ. And you can even go back to like De'Aaron Fox. Russell Westbrook was De'Aaron Fox's favorite player. And they never played together, but that's how you know like the influence that Russ has in this league. And Russ leads by example. The Russell Westbrook experience, there's going to be the chaos. There's going to be the moments of, Russ, what are you doing? And truth be told, that kind of helps the tank. When Russ decides, it's my time in the fourth quarter, and then
secretly helping.
then like misses a layup, you're like, thanks, I guess.
Good Russ, bad Russ.
Yeah, there's, and you never know what you're going to get. And the records every night are cool, though sometimes I roll my eyes and I'm like, yay, another record, who cares?
What does highest scoring point guard really mean?
Yeah, best rebounding guard in history. Cool, like I could never do it, so good on you, Russ. And it's cool to cover Russell Westbrook at any point here in Sacramento. But the two main reasons why Russell Westbrook are here, one, the attitude that he has meets like the Scott Perry and Doug Christie mold. They like that attitude. And 2, Russ always plays hard and is an example of every time you're on the floor, play the same way. And that's what this young core, I think, it can really take away from playing with him.
I completely agree with you on that. It's the setting the example from the start, from the young guys, how to play, what the culture is going to be for this team in the future. And again, it might take a little bit to get there. But that's where I think Perry and Doug are aligned, is like the types of players they want in terms of the mindset, the culture, how they want them to play. That, I think, is what Russell Westbrook kind of is.
How about Domantas Sabonis? How much do the Sacramento Kings want Domantas Sabonis to be a part of their future? How much does Domantas Sabonis want to be a part of a rebuild? That we're going to dive into that conversation.
That's a very interesting topic.
We're getting deep into that conversation at noon. But before that, a really cool story for women's soccer and women's sports. Can't wait to talk about this one involving Trinity Rodman. We'll explain to you everything that's about her and this just awesome history being made with her. We'll talk about that coming up next on Sactown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
This Sactown Sports 49ers report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. 49ers season comes to a close in Seattle on Saturday, losing 41-6. San Francisco playing without all pros George Kittle, Fred Warder, and Nick Bosa, and the injuries proved to be too much to overcome. San Francisco finishes the year 13-6. As for Seattle, they advance to the conference championship game, where they will take on LA, who defeated Chicago in overtime 20-17. Catch that game right here on Sactown Sports beginning at 3.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
Injured and you're considering an LA law firm looking to charge you 45% to 50% in attorney's fees? That's overcharging. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years, and I can tell you no matter how complicated your injury case, you should never be charged 45% or 50% in attorney's fees ever. Direct, experienced, unrelenting, and honest local representation matters. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries. So for the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Chad, what's happening for the Start Something New sales event?
If you're struggling to find the heavy-duty Ram you need, you'll find it at Hoblet. Plus, right now you can save up to $12,500 off MSRP on new 2026 Ram 2500 and 3500s, starting as low as $46,995.
Well, what makes Hoblet the best place to get a new Ram truck?
It's simple. We are truck people and have the truck you want at the best prices. We have over 400 new Rams available, one of the best selections of new Rams in all of California. Unlike the other guys that only have a handful of heavy-duty Rams, we have hundreds. If you need a heavy-duty Ram, Hoblet has it.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$12,500 total net savings on select new 2026 Ram 2500 Laramie after $3,500 factory rebates and $9,000 Hoblet discounts. Rebates include $2,000 select inventory cash on select inventory, $500 on the job upfit, must show eligible upfit. 5 of this net savings, $46,995 for 2026 Ram 2500 tradesman. VIN number 190143. See dealer for details.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder, thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Well, drinks on Trinity Rodman tonight.
Yes.
Because my dear,
expensive one.
My dear is making history. Congratulations to Trinity Rodman. She is a soccer star, and she re-signed with the Washington Spirit. Really good soccer club.
Yep.
She is now the highest paid women's soccer player in the world.
It's insane.
Kayla, that's pretty incredible, and it's fitting that it's an American soccer player, because while in the men's side of things, Team USA, they bless their heart, they try, and they're in the World Cup by default because we're hosting the World Cup. But like the U.S. men's team, they're competitive, they're fun.
Sometimes they lose to Trinidad and Tobago.
Exactly.
Yeah, they are.
Let's just say they underperform.
They're not a team that, if they make it to the knockout rounds of like the World Cup, we're excited.
Yeah.
Right. And then if they beat Mexico in the CONCACAF Cup, we're like, yeah, great.
Yeah.
They're not in the superpowers of the soccer world.
No,
International
get
soccer
better.
world.
Get better. Men's
Team
soccer.
USA women, they've been running that. Team USA women, they've been at the top of the mountain for a very, very long time. And women's soccer international women's soccer is amazing. The French team is unbelievable. Like, there's so much about watching international women's soccer. The Women's World Cup, when it was in France recently, was so,
really good.
Well, not recently, but a handful of years ago, was really fun to watch. Seeing Trinity Rodman make history like this and get that payday that, pay has been a major topic of women's sports, whether it's the WNBA, especially in international soccer, for a very, very long time. Seeing her get that payday, get that recognition, and to continue to carry the torch in that sense, really, really cool story.
It's an awesome story. I mean, she's going to probably join some of the names that are the best to do it in terms of U.S. soccer. Mia Hamm, Abby Wambach, Alex Morgan, like the list goes on and on, because they've really created brands for themselves, not just like a player.
Megan
Rapinoe, like there's just so many of them. What I love about Trinity Rodman's story, guys, listeners, gals, is the fact that she created her own brand, her own success. Because this is Dennis Rodman's daughter. However, Dennis Rodman really was not a part of her life like you would think he was. Trinity's brother, that she's very close with, DJ Rodman, was at Washington State. Oh, I'm a Washington State alum, so I followed this story very closely. When Kyle Smith, who is now the head coach at Stanford, coached our own
Maxime
Reynaud right here in Sacramento, he pretty much brought in DJ at the time and gave him a chance to play basketball, and really was a father figure for DJ. Well, Trinity was kind of along in that whole time period supporting her brother before she became like a big thing. And the whole thing was like, Dennis was not in the lives of these kids. The mom was there, and so Trinity kind of like built her own brand creation, and boom, exploded on the scene, because that's exactly what happened. All of a sudden we started hearing Trinity Rodman, and now she is who she is. So I just love the stories like this, where just because you were connected to a big name, like one of the biggest names in basketball that we'll ever know, Dennis Rodman, had nothing to do with her success.
And what I like is, like, if you read these stories and you read it in ESPN or Yahoo Sports or wherever these stories or these articles are fluctuating.
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman's mentioned. I mean, you have to. The context is important. And I think a lot of people reading are less like, oh, I knew that, and like, oh, that I didn't know that was her.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to call him but this is just how it was.
But the point is, like, that's not the driving. That's mentioned 3, 4, 5 paragraphs into the story, not at the top, right?
Exactly.
And that's how it should be. And look, a lot of I'm not the son of a famous athlete, so I don't know what it's like to live in that shadow. But I've talked to kids who have dealt with that, from Bronny James, the LA Lakers, playing behind his dad, to we have Shaquille O'Neal's son here in Sacramento playing for Mike Bibby at Sac State. Like, I can't even imagine trying to escape that shadow. But there is no Dennis Rodman shadow over Trinity. I mean, she is unbelievable. Her story is incredible. Her talent is through the roof, and she is part of the elite of not just women's soccer, but USA soccer. Yeah. And I'm glad she's getting both paid and recognized as such.
Yeah, she's if you didn't know about her before, now you know. We've enlightened you, but I'm excited to see what she does moving forward with her career. And it's not about just the money, and she's the highest paid soccer player in the world. It's about just the ability to get there and the hard work that she's put in. And it has been kind of a stepping stone for her. And now, boom, here you are at, I don't even know how, she's pretty young. I don't know exact age-wise what she is, but she's fun. She's great for youth, a great youth role model for women who, are interested in the sport of soccer, or just women who are, interested in women's sports.
23 years old.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's so young, and she's been able to do this to this point.
She's just getting started.
She's just getting started. So great story. I'm glad that you brought that up. You sent that to our group text last night. I said, oh my goodness, I love Trinity.
Yeah, I love stories like this too. And it's not just, and there's always going to be those comments, and I'm sure, Kayla, you're aware, it's just because it's just a woman. They're making a big deal out of this because it's a woman, and they're just trying to try and look good and blah, blah, blah. No, this is an athlete breaking barriers. This is an athlete setting a standard that now has raised the bar for everybody to be what should happen the same way it would happen in international men's soccer or men's sports in general. Is now the bar is set, and the next star is going to get paid more.
Yep.
And that ladder is going to keep climbing and climbing and climbing. And it also says that these players are marketable, which they are, because if you watch them play, regardless of their gender or whatever, they are very entertaining to watch.
Yes, they are.
Well, the money part of it, too, is so interesting, because the whole reason this was a big story is that because the NWSL has a salary cap, they weren't going to be allowed to sign her because they have max contracts similar to the NBA. But European soccer, they're like, whatever. We'll pay you whatever. It doesn't matter. So everyone assumed Trinity Rodman was going to have to go to Europe because the American system would not allow her to sign this contract. And they essentially created a Trinity Rodman provision to essentially allow this to go through. So basically, it's a win just for the NWSL, too, that you get to keep top talent instead of restricting salaries and having them go all to Europe. Because that's kind of been the trend now, is all these European clubs are bringing the best American soccer players away from the NWSL and going to play in other countries. So this is a big, landscape altering thing for that league too.
And what's funny is in men's soccer is it's almost the opposite to some extent, to where the MLS has a hard time keeping young American talent here. You'll see them go overseas. Christian Pulisic is like the international USA captain star of the
better
US
for
team.
them to go
Yeah,
over there.
They leave and they get the bag over there, but then you see all the legends come and play in the MLS to end their careers, from, of course, Lionel Messi in Miami because of the bag that they throw at him. Now, Lewandowski, who's a huge striker, international striker.
Do you think Ronaldo will ever come over here?
He had the chance. He almost went to Kansas City, and Saudi Arabia threw the bag at him.
Saudi Arabia, the amount of money that he's getting in Saudi Arabia
I just want him to come here is
absurd. But I mean, never say never, I suppose. But Lewandowski is likely coming over, one of the top strikers in the world.
And David Beckham did it years ago.
Beckham did it a long time ago. Wayne Rooney, an international or English soccer star, did it. Of course, we got the Zlatan Ibrahimovic time in Los Angeles. So USA likes to be, in men's soccer, it likes to be the victory lap for all these legends to come back and make a bunch of money and play during the summertime and basically be a spectator sport in that sense. But again, the young men soccer players are typically having to go internationally to get the money that they deserve, and still on the national stage, USA isn't there yet. The women been there, done that. They set the standard, and USA should absolutely, gatekeep isn't the right term, but it's like, y'all are from here. Y'all represent us in the World Cup every 4 years, and we expect you to be at the top. No, we need to keep you here. It can't be better for you to go and play in England's, the Women's Premier League in England or something. No, we run international soccer. The women run international soccer in the USA. We're going to keep our best athletes here. I think that's a really important aspect of this saga as well.
Yeah, this is a great story and something, again, if you like soccer, women's soccer is great. It's something that I think the sport continues to grow here in the U.S. It's not at near the level of what it is overseas, right? We know that.
Yep.
We're not saying we're great at soccer here.
No.
But I don't know. The women's soccer is something, it's growing also in the professional leagues here, so it's something to watch. But congrats to Trinity again. Self-made woman.
Yeah, she's an inspiration. She's a great story. And if you haven't watched her play, just do yourself a favor and watch her play. And stick around for the next half of the show. We're coming up next. It's our lunch break segment. We are going to be taking your calls like usual, 916-339-1140, 800-920-1140. But we're going to dive deep into the Domantas Sabonis conversation. Would Sabonis is he more likely to be a hostage or a volunteer if the Kings were to keep him around for the start of a rebuild? Plus, I have my ideal Domantas Sabonis trade to the Toronto Raptors that I would be willing to say yes to, really without hesitation. And I got an interesting note that I heard about Doug Christie, and it's a good thing. I'll share that all with you coming up next on Sactown Sports.
The 10th Annual Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration is Thursday, February 5th at the Golden One Center, inducting the class of 2026, plus honoring all of our past inductees. See Sacramento's 50 greatest athletes of all time.
This is Bill Cartwright.
This is Jerry Royster.
This is Tony the Tiger Lopez.
This is Dusty Baker, proud member of the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame. Join us Thursday, February the 5th at the Golden One Center for Sacramento's best sports night of the year.
Get your tickets now at SacSportsHOF.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
When your check engine light comes on, do you see a repair bill or do you see peace of mind? For 20 years, CarShield's been the name America trusts to help keep you on the road. While other companies stop covering you when your car gets older, CarShield offers protection plans up to 200,000 miles. With over $1 billion in claims paid, we don't just promise protection, we deliver it. Don't let a breakdown break your budget. Get the flexible month-to-month coverage you deserve. Go to CarShield.com. That's CarShield.com today.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
Quick shout out to everybody who actually listens to the show before commenting. We see you. We
Stop
appreciate
fighting with people on the YouTube.
I'm not fighting with anybody.
It's a Fighting Friday here on the Matt and Kayla Show.
Nobody's fighting, just calmly reminding you to, put the Twitter fingers away.
Oh, no. I feel all right. The party's here on the west side.
Whoa, that was trippy.
That was like in stereo. I don't think I liked that. I don't know if I like that. We will do karaoke, I'm sure, at some point in this show. When we get deep into deep into the struggles of the summertime slowness. Just going to be karaoke on this show.
You guys seem to like this song more than Alan does, so that's a start.
Especially when Whitey Gleason is around.
This one, Friday I'm in Love.
Yes.
I like this song.
Yeah, Alan hated it, but
Why?
I'm glad you guys like it.
Why did he hate it?
Alan.
Yeah.
Just Alan.
That's just Alan.
I mean, he gets mad at people fishing in a lake near his house because it says don't fish.
Get off my lawn.
He's a 97-year-old trapped
My-
in a 30-year-old body.
My joy of the week was always because I'd play it at 1 o'clock every week, and he'd always forget, and then I'd play
really?
it, and his head would sink into his hands.
Well, you can.
It's so funny.
He can listen to whatever he wants to listen to over there with Whitey Gleason.
He's going to a wedding.
Yeah, Alan's. So if they play this song at a wedding, Alan's walking off the dance floor. That's what I guess.
Why would they play Friday I'm in Love at a wedding?
I don't know. Love. It says love in it. I don't know. I'm
what
not
if
a
it's
DJ.
the daughter-dad dance and he's just like over there pouting in the corner?
Oh,
while
Alan
they're-
would 100% like walk out of a dad-daughter dance because he doesn't like the song.
A
choice.
daddy-daughter dance to Friday I'm in Love is
Listen, Kyle,
incredible.
Listen,
Isn't it?
bud. Everybody has their musical tastes, all right?
My dad actually used to love that song, so maybe there's something to it.
I don't know. Well, you are listening to Matt George, Kayla Anderson. That's Kyle Ledbetter joining us as well. Here we're halfway through the show, but really business is about to pick up, Kayla, because we're going to dive into a conversation that I've been wanting to have for a while in regards to Domantas Sabonis. And, of course, this is the lunch break segment, so if you want to call in and let your voice be heard, I imagine some people are going to want to call in and jump in on this Sabonis conversation that we're about to have. 916-339-1140, 800-920-1140. Before we get into, like, Sabonis staying here in Sacramento, which I think is likely to happen, and him being a part of the start of the rebuild, yesterday at the end of the show, we were limping through a segment essentially on the trade machine in real time, trying to put together what an ideal Domantas Sabonis trade to the Toronto Raptors looks like. Because we're going to talk about Sam Amick's article at 1 o'clock that he dropped today. There were some Kings nuggets in there, and in there it also included a line about, no, the Raptors' interest in Sabonis is legitimate. It doesn't mean like a deal is close necessarily, although there have been rumors and reports out there that the Kings have been deep in talks initially or before about a Domantas Sabonis trade, but it's certainly not completely out of left field. And we were working together trying to figure out like what a Toronto Raptors trade looks like the Kings would be happy with or willing to accept. And I came up with the one that, like, if this was the offer, I would say yes to it pretty quickly. My trade is Domantas Sabonis and Dennis Schroeder to the Toronto Raptors for R.J. Barrett, who has a close connection with Scott Perry. He drafted him when Scott was the general manager of the New York Knicks. Emmanuel Quickley, who has 3 years remaining on his deal at, I believe, $32.5 million per year. So it is a long-term contract that's pretty expensive, and we know Perry doesn't want to take those on. And 2 first-round picks. Ooh. If that's the offer, that's where we're at, that I'm like, I'm doing it. I think the conversation would be held up about the picks. When I put this out on social media, Raptors fans jumped all over it. That's 2 first-round picks too much. That's way too much value for Sabonis and Schroeder, blah, 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 blah. First off, I'm including Schroeder in this conversation. 1, because you need to get rid of a guard. 2, you need it for the money to work. And 3, Schroeder's contract is the easiest to move on from if the Raptors don't want Schroeder. He's got 2 years left on the deal, but the last one's only, I think, $4 million guaranteed.
Yeah, nothing.
So this is the type of trade that I think if you're going to expect Scott Perry to take back the big contracts, or at least a big contract that the Raptors want to include in this deal, this is what it looks like. This is what Scott Perry should be asking for. Maybe you can get talked down to 1 first-round pick, maybe, if you really don't feel like you have another option. And I'm not including Jakob Poeltl in this at all because
he's been kind of connect, but no.
No thanks. The Raptors will try. No thanks. No way the Kings are wanting to take Jakob Poeltl and 3 years remaining on his deal.
So, breaking this down, clearly you can look at it of the side of what Sacramento is getting. And I think the RJ Barrett is the piece that's like the sexy piece, right? That stands out. We know the relationship with Scott Perry and him. It's great. Scott Perry drafted him. And I think he'd be a good get here. You know, I think he's a pro. I think it would work here. It wouldn't be like you would be having to like fix things around him. Like it would work. And then the 2 first-round picks, like they're building for the future quickly, and the contract is a little long, but you can deal with it.
Yeah.
For Toronto, I know they've been linked to Domantas Sabonis, and there is obviously interest there because that is the one team that has had the consistent interest, I think more so than Golden State.
Which I'm a little confused by, but
and that's
sure.
what I'm going to ask you about, because then you're just kind of throwing Schroeder in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say this because I'm just like, yeah, then you throw Dennis Schroeder in there, and it's like, here, get Schroeder on the side. What are they gaining from a trade like this?
I mean, Sabonis is the best player in the deal. For sure. Sabonis 100%. Is the best player of the deal. And the Raptors are 4th in the Eastern Conference right now. They've been kind of a breakout story. They're 27-19.
They're not talked about as much, obviously.
No, I mean, because there's tiers to this, right? Like, I don't put them on the Knicks level. I don't put them on the the Pistons level, or even the Boston Celtics. Those are the 3 teams that are ahead of them. But I think they feel that, okay, we're maybe a little bit ahead of schedule. You could draw some parallels between this Raptors team this year and the Beam team breakout year of a handful of years ago that the Kings went through. And I think they seem to feel like they need to address that center position. They need to really go forward with that center position. And it's either Anthony Davis or Domantas Sabonis. And if you're looking for long-term success, not a band, because the Raptors aren't a piece away from being a contender. No. But I think they're if they can bring in a solid starting caliber center like Sabonis, they feel like there's sustainable opportunity there. I have questions whether or not Sabonis will work in their system.
Because, again, he's a particular type of center.
Yep. I don't know if they have the right people necessarily around him there. So I'm not trying to I've been accused of, you're lowering Domantas Sabonis' value. I'm not trying to do that. I don't think it makes a ton of sense for the Raptors to go this hard for Domantas Sabonis. That being said, like, if they really feel they need to address their center position right now and capitalize on the momentum that they have right now, it's hard to argue that there is a better option out there for them than Domas, which is why I think the conversations have at least gotten as far as they have.
Sure, and the Anthony Davis, look, it was his name kind of connected there, and again, his agent is Rich Paul is trying to get him the heck out of Dallas. But
although apparently Rich Paul has denied that. I don't know. Like, Rich Paul has denied that.
It's just where does it come at? I'm sorry, where there's smoke, there's fire.
I believe wholeheartedly that they want AD out of Dallas.
Yeah, and it's like, was that not supposed to slip? Was that not supposed to slip? But I think Domantas, I would take Domantas at this point over AD probably, just overall, like long term. So I get what you're saying. There's not a lot of those guys out there right now available, and there is some sort of availability that you could work a trade with Domantas.
The other part, too, is that the Raptors are currently 18th in offensive rating, but 5th in defensive rating. So they just need some kind of offensive boost. And Scotty Barnes, I don't think he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year, but he's like on a short list of like Defensive Player of the Year candidates.
Barnes, in theory, is a player that makes sense to have next to Domantas Sabonis. Sure. Barnes is kind of a 3-4 hybrid, but you can put him at the 4 next to Domas at the 5. Does Domas make them better offensively? Yes. But defensively, he might make them a little bit worse. He certainly doesn't add rim protection, but if Scotty Barnes is taking the majority of that responsibility, I guess it's... But if I'm the Raptors, I'm looking at, but the Kings have kind of been doing that with Keegan and Sabonis for a while, and Keegan is a really high-level defender, very similar to Scotty Barnes. Sure. If you want to say Scotty is better, I'll give you that.
Okay.
But it's not a perfect fit. But that's the conversation with Domas in general. It's not the perfect fit.
Again, are you desperate for that spot right now?
Yeah.
And are you willing to kind of not have it be perfect?
Yeah.
And I think they kind of want Brandon Ingram to be the primary ball handler too. Yep. And Quickly and Brandon Ingram kind of don't mesh as well together, which maybe is you can have Sabonis and Ingram kind of play off each other a little more.
And here's the big part of this too from the Kings standpoint is if you're taking on Emmanuel Quickly, he's a good young point guard, but you're paying him like your starting point guard going forward.
That's the thing.
So
what's the deal again?
It's Quickly, RJ Barrett, and two first-round picks for Sabonis and Schroeder. That's why you ask for the second. Yep. I don't think I do it if it's just one first-round pick because now I'm married to Quickly for the next 2 to 3 years at $32.5 million per year. We know Perry does not want to take any of those contracts back, period. That contract and position is better for the Kings than Jakob Poeltl is. I know RJ Barrett. I think Perry would love to have RJ Barrett here, and I could see RJ being a part of a Kings rebuild here at that 2 spot. But it has to be multiple firsts, or I don't think you take that Quickly contract, which is why Perry can feel comfortable asking about it. And if the Raptors say no, then the Raptors say no. But, Kayla, that then leads to something that the Kings are facing regardless, which is what do they do with Domantas Sabonis? Because I believe that Sabonis will still be here after the trade deadline. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I believe he will still be here. And I do believe that the Sacramento Kings aren't bothered by that. I think the Kings feel or view Domantas Sabonis as someone that can be a part of the start of this rebuild at the very least. But does Domantas Sabonis want to be? Scott Perry, amongst all of his lines that he has, the prudent and opportunistic, another one of his famous lines that we've talked about a lot, he wants volunteers, not hostages, to what the Sacramento Kings are trying to do. If you were to ask me right now what I feel Domantas Sabonis would be more likely to be, a volunteer or a hostage to a Sacramento Kings rebuild, I pretty much without hesitation say a hostage. Because a volunteer doesn't just mean like you'll put up with it.
Okay.
Because I think Sabonis would put up with it because he's making a bunch of money. Has his place in Napa, his winery, his family. He
likes it. He's made it clear he likes Northern California.
He's very comfortable.
Yeah.
So I think he'll put up with it. Mm-hmm. But we also know Domantas Sabonis is a competitor. And if Sabonis is going to be here and be a part of the rebuild, the Sacramento Kings are focusing their priority on building this the right way, which means essentially, Sabonis, you need to fall in line to whatever the right way is. You are not going to be the centerpiece of this rebuild. You might be the best player on this team for a period of time, but you're not going to be the focus of this rebuild. We are not rebuilding this team around what works and fits best with you.
Right.
Well, Sabonis volunteered to give 2 to 3 years of his career to that cause. I don't think so.
So what is interesting to me, and again, I am newer to Sacramento, and so I'm coming in to this, and by the way, I was here at the start of the Kings season, so I've followed everything closely, but I am learning as I go some of the connections with these players and coaches, the history part of it. Mm-hmm. But one thing that I do remember hearing was there was at one time a really good connection between Domantas Sabonis and Doug Perry.
Doug Christie.
Doug Christie.
Perry.
Like, now
it's a combo.
The drama has gotten to me, folks. Doug Christie, excuse me. That I believe, helped with some of the developmental things.
Yes.
And you can go into detail on that in a minute. So the reason why I'm bringing that up, Matt and Kyle and listeners, is because it seems as if that is a good pair. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we've seen what has happened this season. Domantas Sabonis has had injuries. That's kept him from playing. And then when he has gotten back on the court recently, he hasn't necessarily been a starter. He's come off the bench.
Right.
We're assuming that's more so with the maintenance part.
Yeah,
but
injuries,
are we assuming that, or, are they still close? Is that still a pairing that can be here for years to come?
Yeah, I mean, speaking to the past, Doug Christie was Domantas Sabonis' developmental coach.
Yeah.
Doug worked with Domas every single day. So the reason why coaching staffs are as big as they are, you have your head coach and you have your associate head coach, which is essentially like if you get ejected, that's the guy that takes over.
Yeah.
And then that associate head coach is typically, if we're using football terms, either your offensive or defensive coordinator or the coach that's in charge of your offense or defense. And then you have another top lead assistant that's in charge of the opposite, the defense or the offense. Then you have all these player developmental coaches. They all bring something to the table. They help scout. You'll hear Doug Christie talk a lot about, like, that was this guy's scout. That's because he was responsible for putting together the scouting report and the film and everything for that game. So the coaches have all those responsibilities, but they also work with individual players. They're assigned with individual players. That's if you go to the arena early enough before, like, the tip-off warm-ups, you'll see guys out there getting their individual work in, and there's one coach with them at least every single time. Every single time. Luke Laux was that for De'Aaron Fox. Doug Christie was that for Domantas Sabonis. Doug would travel around with Sabonis during the offseason, went to him with UFC, worked out, or USC.
UFC.
Yeah, they
now,
fought each other.
They're
Fist fights. No,
I think he went to Lithuania, too.
Yeah, he went to Lithuania. He went to USC, and he worked out with both Domas and DeMar DeRozan when DeMar was first acquired last offseason. So they're very, very close.
Yeah.
And like that coach is typically your confidant, the guy that you lean on. And they're the guy that's supposed to be, if there's like a good cop, bad cop, sometimes the head coach has to be the bad cop, and that's the good cop coach for you to kind of lean on.
Yes.
That's what Domantas Sabonis and Doug Christie, that's the relationship that they had. There's no doubt about it that when Doug took over as interim head coach after Mike Brown was fired, and it's pretty understood that Mike and Domas weren't exactly on the same page, Domas was very happy about it. Like, thrilled. My guy is now...
he's the interim now? Yeah.
My guy is now the head coach of the team. Fast forward to now, things have not gone the way that the Kings expected. They got embarrassed in the play-in loss at home to the Dallas Mavericks in a game where Domantas Sabonis played like bleep. He played terribly in that game. Mm-hmm. And this season, he's dealt with the injuries. The Kings are bad. Excuse A, B, C, and D. But Doug Christie, one of the things he said almost as much as he talks about the standard is he says, when talking about being a head coach, like, nobody likes me. Like, no one...
gotta be the bad guy.
Like, nobody likes me because everybody wants to play. Nobody likes me. I have to make these tough decisions. Do I think Domantas Sabonis and Doug Christie's relationship is as strong now as it was then? No. I think part of that is natural.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to share about Doug Christie, which to me is very encouraging, but also might speak to not necessarily a power dynamic in the Kings organization, but something that exists. I have been told firsthand, the young guys, the Beam Bros or Beam Boys, like
plus Achua, he's still kind of young.
Yeah, he's in there. But the young guys love Doug Christie, love playing for him. And when you ask Doug about any of those young guys, Doug lights up. He loves talking about Maxime Reynaud, loves talking about Dylan Cardwell, loves talking about Neat Clifford. He's talked so much about. He said it with Jason and Dave earlier this week. It's so much fun to watch them develop in real time. That's the passion that Doug has for coaching. Doug wants to win too, don't get me wrong, and he's competitive as hell. But he loves these young guys, seeing them develop before his eyes. And he also recognizes, like we all do, that the Kings are going more youth movement than they are going veterans.
He has a job to do too.
Yeah, and I think Domantas Sabonis, like a lot of other veterans, are feeling kind of the short end of that stick a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's how I would describe it.
And I would look at it, there's always the relationships that play a part of this, right? And what an organization wants to do moving forward. And sometimes, unfortunately, when you have a different vision and there's going to be a lot more new parts coming in, unfortunately, some of those veterans and some of those players that have been here for a while, eventually they, go to other places. And it kind of is a natural thing that turns over. So you look at it too, is like, how much is Domantas Sabonis a part of the actual fit for this team moving forward? And we're saying right now, I don't think that they're like, we have to move him. It's the first thing that priority-wise.
Right.
Like, yeah, money-wise maybe, but there is going to be a couple years of growth until they fully move forward. So I don't think it's like the worst thing if Domantas Sabonis is here. However, for Domantas Sabonis, if he starts to see his minutes go down or he's not coming off the bench, that is frustrating probably for a guy like him who's in the peak of his career and who wants to win.
And that kind of leads into why I'm skeptical about him being a volunteer to this rebuild, because he is competitive and he does want to win. And what we've learned about Domantas Sabonis really since he came to Sacramento was that he wants to be involved in decision-making. We've asked him in the media about it repeatedly. Hey, do you want to be involved in decisions? And he's like, yeah, I would like my voice to be heard. And
he also said at the exit presser last year, we need a point guard, like point blank answered it in a way that was like shocking to all of us. We're like, whoa, he never says anything like that.
Yeah, Domantas Sabonis is clearly, he wants to be a top guy here as a player and as a voice. And while I'm not saying that the Kings are going to ice him out, Scott Perry or Doug Christie are not going to take his voice into account, Domas is not a priority in this rebuild. He's not.
Nope.
And I think he knows it, and we all know it. Because if the Sacramento Kings try to rebuild with him at the center, saying, doesn't matter who we get in the draft, doesn't matter who we get in a trade, Domantas Sabonis is our star here. You can't do that. You've seen enough from Domas's career to know you can't do that. You're already paying a guy almost $50 million a year whose first instinct is to pass, not to score. He has a limited bag offensively that other teams have exploited. He's a really, really strong, really, really good, incredibly talented player. but he's limited on the offensive end. And as much as Doug Christie wants to preach defense, offense is important, and you can't pay a guy top dollar that can't be a top offensive option. And on top of that, defense. Domas doesn't exactly provide that either.
It's like, can he rebound? Sure, but that's not the whole body of defense Doug Christie is actually looking for.
Yeah, rebounding is important, but the reason why Dylan Cardwell's playing is because he protects the rim and changes things on the perimeter because he's back there.
It's a different energy too.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, again, I'm wearing a Gonzaga shirt. I don't know if I didn't even know we were going to have this detail of a debate on Domas till after I got dressed today.
Domas went to Gonzaga.
Yes, he did. And so
his jersey retired.
He did get his jersey retired. But it's funny because I'm not trying to hate on Domas at all.
No.
I'm just realistically, like, this is kind of the direction it's going in, and there is a shift too in terms of the energy they want, the type of youth that they want to bring in terms of this team and the rebuild. And it is, like, you can see the difference right now. And I know he's not fully healthy, but like Dylan Cardwell is giving this team a spark also when he enters the floor.
Yeah.
And not because he's scoring all these points, but he is doing some of the dirty work and he is giving that effort fully.
And we talked about, I think it was either earlier this week or last week, it's the conversation is not, so don't misconstrue what Kayla's saying there. It's not that Domas or Dylan Cardwell is a better player than Domantas Sabonis. That's not what we're saying.
No, that's not at all.
It's that the way Dylan impacts the game is more of a fit for where the Sacramento Kings are trying to go or how Doug Christie wants the center position to impact the game than Domantas Sabonis. But here's the other aspect of this conversation, Kayla, too. If you're looking at this roster and going, which of my top veterans can I expect or hope to get the most return for?
Okay.
It's Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah.
So, and we bring that up because while Scott Perry wasn't involved at all in the De'Aaron Fox trade for Zach LaVine, the Sacramento Kings rushed that trade and it ended up being a disaster, and they really got nothing for their franchise player. Domas is the closest thing the Kings have right now to a franchise player. So they probably do feel like they can and maybe should take their time and be prudent and opportunistic
there it is.
In
Patient.
the conversations around the trade conversations around Domantas Sabonis. So maybe they say, okay, he's not going to be a part of the full-term rebuild, but we'll keep him around for another year. He can be part of the start of this rebuild and still be a featured piece of this team in the meantime until we get to next year's trade deadline. And now he only has 1 year left on his deal. And now let's see how much we can get for him. Now let's see who will play ball.
And that's the point of what this whole conversation comes back to, though. That is more so he is now, in terms of a hostage or a volunteer, he is more a hostage in that situation. And that's kind of the point of this conversation. We'll see what happens. Maybe there's a trade. But the further and further it gets down the line, I think it's more of a hostage, not a volunteer situation.
Yeah, again, the gut feeling for me is that as comfortable as Domas may be with the money that he's making and where he lives and his family and everything here in Sacramento, I think Domas knows, like we all know, that he is not the guy or would not be the guy anymore in the direction that the Sacramento Kings are going. He might be a guy, and he might be a short-term best player or highest paid player or top option, depending upon what happens with Zach LaVine, if the Kings are ever able to move on from Zach LaVine, or if Zach opts out of his contract, which I also don't think he'll do. But Domas is never going, it's very different from when he started here in Sacramento. And he was happy, in theory, being second fiddle to De'Aaron Fox. But there's nobody on this roster that Domas probably looks at and goes, I'm happy being number 2 to you. And he shouldn't.
He's a competitor. Like you said, he's a competitor.
Like, he shouldn't.
You want to be the best.
He's, in theory, the best player on this roster. But that's the problem, is the best player on this roster right now doesn't mean anything because the Sacramento Kings are hoping to draft a new best player or 2 or 3 or trade for a new young best player or 2 or 3 and develop them so that 2 to 3 years from now, when they're entering, hopefully, the dawn of a Sacramento Kings rebuild is paid off and multi-years of a playoff run, and Domantas Sabonis is like 31, 32 years old, he's sunsetting while the Kings are sunrising.
It's weird, too, real quick, before we take a break. It is weird to say, though, would we be having this exact same conversation if Domas was here from the start to where we are without the injuries this year, and he was playing good basketball, it does make you think, would we still have this conversation?
I think we would, because if the Kings, unless if he plays the entire season, maybe the Kings are a little bit better record-wise, but I don't think they're a good basketball team. So the Kings are still facing a rebuild is what needs to happen. Maybe where it changes is maybe his value is a little bit better because he's playing better and
maybe he would
healthy.
then have been traded even by now.
But even so, he's still got that contract. That contract is tough to move, which is why I expect him to stay around. Well, if you want to weigh in on this conversation.
Alan was in our chat. Alan Stiles was in our chat.
Oh, he's actually listening to the show, or is he going to turn it off again mid-segment so he can listen to something else? Shout out Alan. Hopefully he has a great time at his wedding. We'll not be talking to Alan. We'll be talking to Whitey Gleason at the end of the show. And Whitey's bringing a bit of a fun football trivia game to us, I guess. Plus, we're going to have the first ever edition of Kyle's Curveball. That's coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. But now we're going to take a break from some Kings talk, unless, of course, you want to call in and share some of your thoughts on these Kings conversations. We're going to go to the NFL because this weekend we got AFC and NFC championship action. We're going to give our thoughts and picks for these two games, plus which quarterback has the most riding on this game. We'll talk about it next.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
Happy Friday. I'm meteorologist Ophelia Young from the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Winds will be light and skies will be sunny with highs in the upper 50s. Temperatures will fall to 40s after dinner. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, you can drive a 2025 Accord Hybrid Sport and enjoy a tradition begun with the first Accord in 1976. Ask about the least you can do. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT this month only. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Get as loud as you can for Monster Jam!
The one and only Monster Jam. Packed with stunts, smiles, and jaw-dropping skills. See the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks. Like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. Only at Monster Jam. Coming to Golden One Center this Friday through Sunday. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Savings available on select opening night tickets.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
The Travel Guys, new on KHTK 1140 every Saturday at 11 a.m.
We'll make you a smarter traveler. Tips you can use on the road and at the airport, plus reports from top consumer advocates.
The Travel Guys, 11 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party, Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Line dancing, live DJs, mechanical bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler, Dodge Jeep and Ram Center, and Fairfield in Cal Expo. More info at CITBfest.com.
Tune in every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Toyota Tahoe Report with Johnny Mosley and me, Elena, bringing you the latest weather conditions up at Tahoe. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
When life calls for a little extra, a kitchen upgrade, paying off debt, or that dream vacation, Valley Strong Credit Union is here to help. With a Valley Strong home equity loan, you can tap into your home's value with competitive rates, flexible terms, and local guidance you can trust. Get approved in as little as 5 minutes, with funding in as few as 5 days. Your goals are within reach. Visit valleystrong.com to get your offer today. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 456506.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Great song choice here by Kyle Ledbetter in the other room, pressing the buttons, also being the DJ of the day. Post Malone, one of my favorite artists. He's
he's like country now.
Yeah, his country album was good.
Not bad.
But Posty's, I love his music. His
I
music is great.
Like the Post though.
I'm very, OG Post, like hip hop Post, His story is pretty awesome too. I'm very excited about Bruno Mars' new album's dropping.
I.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Oh, and I want to see him in person at some point.
You better pay.
It's the most expensive pre-sale ticket ever.
You better pay.
Because he had gambling debt. He has to pay that all off.
So he was one of the first acts at Thunder Valley's The Venue.
You're kidding me.
One of the first acts. And
Get out.
that ticket was disgustingly expensive.
Like what?
Like The Venue is pretty expensive, period. I've actually never been to anything there. I've heard it's great. Up in Thunder Valley, it's right by my house.
I've definitely not been there yet, but I'd like to go.
But I think I was looking at tickets online when he came through, and it was starting at like $400 or $500.
Because it's a 6,000, 8,000 seat venue for Bruno
it's
Mars.
Pretty intimate.
But that's kind of cool to see. If I want to see Bruno Mars, I might be willing to actually do that because it's such a small venue, and I'd rather see him like in a situation like that.
I've never seen him live. I was so close to dropping the money to see him in Vegas when I was there for Super Bowl, but I didn't end up doing it, and it was the right financial decision. But I would love to see him live. But yeah, he's going on a massive tour, including to Santa Clara, Levi Stadium, I believe, and like you're spending a boatload if you want to be anywhere close to that stage.
Man, don't we have any connections here in radio?
Well, I mean, maybe.
This is like not quite Taylor Swift, but this is Diet Taylor Swift if you want tickets to this tour.
It's pretty expensive, but I love me some Bruno Mars. I also cannot wait for the NFC and AFC championship games this weekend. Of course, I'm going to be locked in matter what, Matt. Kayla. Yeah, great segue. But, Kayla, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a lot more locked into this NFC championship game. I'm not,
are you now?
No disrespect to the Super Bowl.
Are you?
No disrespect to the Super Bowl, but to me, this is the Super Bowl. The winner of this game is winning it all, in my opinion. Sorry, AFC, but it's either going to be the Rams or Seahawks that take it. So I'm very intrigued about this NFC West matchup, and it's fitting that it's another NFC West matchup because that was the best division of football.
It was the best division in football. I was also going to mention that earlier when we were doing our talk with, I'm blanking again, with our friend.
Bonte,
yeah. I'm learning everybody here now in the area, but Bonte, he's clearly a Niners fan, and I was going to say, you feel better about it because we are all like, the NFC West was the best, right? Yeah. So we can all like bond together.
Where do you feel, because some people say it's best to lose to the eventual champion because like, okay, it was the champion that beat everybody.
Yeah.
Or are you like, no, if you beat my team, I want you to lose. Where do you fall on that?
I'm almost like, we just, we lost to the best team.
Yeah.
That's how I lie. It's weird.
Coping
mechanism for sure. This is, in my eyes, the team that will win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I'm not saying 100% because you can't predict the future 100%.
Yep.
However, the Rams or the Seahawks. And this is why this game is going to be interesting. Because the last game that they played, by the way, and the Seahawks won that game, but it was a shootout.
Mm-hmm. It's a great game.
It's going to be different, right? We're now in the winter months. It's cold in Seattle. It's a playoff game. I do feel like it will be more defense orientated,
which is good for the Seahawks.
That is good for the Seahawks, and that's why I tend to say they will probably squeak out of there with a win. However, they are going to be missing now one of their two-back systems in Zach Charbonnet.
Mm-hmm.
He's out for the season. Kenneth Murray has been
Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker. I'm getting like my old people I covered now.
the Titans linebacker.
Yeah, Titans linebacker Kenneth Murray, who was once with, I think, the Chargers at some point. But yes, he's been phenomenal this year. But they have also really, I think, taken advantage of that two-back situation when planning for teams and being able to get that run going. Sam Darnold is the question mark for me. The defense.
Shocking.
I'm going to stick with my storyline until it runs out. And unfortunately, I still have not been proven yet that when it has to be on him or when he has to win a game and it's on his shoulders, that he can get it done. And I'm not saying it will get to that point. However, this is a Rams defense that has been inconsistent and at times coming in with a good game plan like Sean McVay always does at this time of the year. It has me a little bit worried about the Sam Darnold situation. So do I fully trust yet if it's on his shoulders he can win them a game in this capacity? No. But I think overall, if things go according to plan with how they defensively plan for the Rams, I think the Seahawks can inch out with a victory.
Yeah, it feels like who I believe is going to be the MVP, Matthew Stafford versus the Seahawks defense. That's what this matchup
That's a great point.
That's what it feels like. And so obviously these two teams played each other twice during the regular season because they're divisional opponents. Week 11 in LA, the Rams squeaked out a 21-19 victory. And then the more recent game in Seattle, where this game is going to be played this weekend, week 16, a 38-37 overtime victory for the Seahawks. But what's interesting, Kayla, is Sam Darnold threw for more yards in the loss than he did the win. And the big difference offensively for the Rams is, like we talked about, Kenneth Walker III rushed for 100 yards in that game. In both those games, Smith and Jigba did what he does, which is 90 to 100 plus
consistent good
yards
great.
in the air. So he's gonna be doing his thing. But yeah, it really feels like Matthew Stafford versus the Seattle defense. And like you talked about, this time of the year, plus the home field advantage, plus just what the Seahawks did to the Niners. I'll give the edge to the Seattle defense in that sense, and hopefully Sam Darnold doesn't have to beat the Rams. Hopefully the defense will just do enough, or the offense will do enough so the defense can hold on.
You know what's funny? You just said that, though, because I'm like, even if Sam Darnold gets to the Super Bowl this year, and even if he wins it, you know what there is going to be a storyline about. It's still probably going to be about if it comes down to the defense pretty much helps them, carries them all the way through, which I think it will.
Like Peyton Manning and the Broncos?
Is Sam Darnold still the quarterback that you, like, is he the dude now? Or is he just like the guy that just managed the game while the defense, that's still going to be a storyline, which cracks me up.
The game manager who also led the league in turnovers.
That's what yes. So it's like it contradicts itself too.
So we're saying no disrespect to the AFC while also blatantly disrespecting the AFC.
You know what? I'll stand up for the AFC. Yeah. I think the AFC will win the Super Bowl.
Why?
He likes the Denver Broncos.
Why?
Well, I want the Denver Broncos to win. We're gonna make our picks in a second. I might have to go against them, but let me tell you something. There was a juggernaut back in 2001 going up against a little old team known as the Patriots, and the Patriots came in and they beat the Rams as 17-point underdogs. It wasn't that much, but still, the AFC stood strong, and you know what? This new Patriots dynasty will be launched by beating some AFC or NFC juggernaut once again.
Were you like 2 years old when that happened?
I was not even that old.
Oh, boy.
Don't ask the age again, because I just feel like in this show I've aged like 20 years with Kyle.
It feels like we're writing the Broncos off simply because Bo Nix isn't playing. And actually, we're going to get into which quarterbacks have the most riding on this game. We're already kind of tying the conversation into like Sam Darnold.
I know.
But that Broncos defense is very, very talented. The way offensively they were able to hang with the Buffalo Bills and turn the Bills over, turn Josh Allen over that many times was really impressive. So I'm not writing the Broncos off necessarily, but the loss of Bo Nix, shout out Jarrett Stidham. I mean, he's going to do his best. I think we're getting a Patriots-Seahawks Super Bowl.
I think that too, but I do want to give the Broncos a little bit of a tip of the cap here because, Sean Payton is their coach. This is a guy who's won a Super Bowl before. This is a guy who, again, if he does it now with the new team, that's impressive in its own right, right? You win a Super Bowl with two different teams. A young backup quarterback. Can you imagine the storylines behind that? but it comes down to their defense too. And that's almost why it'd be interesting to see a Seahawks-Broncos type of Super Bowl, because it would pretty much be like, what defense is the best? Yeah. Battle it out on the field. I'm not going to say I don't give him a shot, but I think it's more of a long shot unless they make Drake Mays a day a living you-know-what.
Yeah, so rapid fire. Let's give our picks really quick. I kind of gave it there. Seahawks in the NFC, Broncos, or rather Pats in the AFC. You seem to be on the same page.
I'm on the same boat as you, Matt.
Kyle?
Do I get the points, or do I have to do straight up?
Let's do. You can do the points. What are the spreads?
Patriots are 4.5-point favorites. Seahawks are 2.5 or 3.5, depends.
I'm taking both those.
Okay,
that's fine with
me. I'm going to take the Broncos with the points, and I think the Seahawks are going to crush them. Although we're doing the quarterbacks with the most weighing on it.
Well, we'll talk about that. That's
a different conversation.
We're going to extend that to the next segment. We'll talk about the quarterbacks, plus more in the NFL coaching carousel. The Baltimore Ravens found their guy, and the Bills, or Josh Allen, they're eyeing Phillip Rivers. He's going to be there for an interview.
Goodness.
And it feels like a bad decision already. We'll discuss coming up next. Matt and Kayla.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
When a person is seriously injured, there's no substitute for the personal legal relationship offered by the local NorCal firm of Ashton & Price. From the first attorney meeting, every important decision is made with a direct consultation with, and I can't believe I have to say this, a real, live, experienced, flesh and blood local attorney. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price, serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries with no fee until we win. For the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Sniffles and sneezes got you down? GoodRx is here to help with big savings on commonly prescribed cold and flu meds. GoodRx is free and easy to use. GoodRx is accepted at all major pharmacies like CVS, Walmart, and Walgreens. Just search your prescription, find a coupon, then show your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx is not insurance, but it works whether you have insurance or not. If you do, GoodRx may beat your copay price. Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com to save today.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need. From reliable printers to high-performance copiers, we'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
This Sactown Sports 49ers report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. 49ers season comes to a close in Seattle on Saturday, losing 41-6. San Francisco playing without all pros George Kittle, Fred Warner, and Nick Bosa, and the injuries proved to be too much to overcome. San Francisco finishes the year 13-6. As for Seattle, they advance to the conference championship game, where they will take on LA, who defeated Chicago in overtime 20-17. Catch that game right here on Sactown Sports beginning at 3.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
At InShape, there's a place for every kind of mover. The Sometimer, the early riser, after work grinder, the yogi, lifter, walker, runner, sauna seeker, recoverer. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
We've been talking a lot of basketball today, of course, but it's almost time for football. Football taking over the weekend. AFC, NFC championship game.
Well, not tomorrow.
Well, that's true, but
I'm off on my days, by the way.
Football owns the weekend. Football owns the weekend, and we all know it. We're looking forward to Championship Sunday. And, guys, we were talking about, we just gave our picks for Rams versus Seahawks, Patriots versus Broncos. But what we didn't get to talk about, and so I'll throw the question out to both of you, Kayla and Kyle, which quarterback has the most riding on their championship game this weekend?
Okay, so I think it's too easy for me to take Sam Darnold.
Uh-huh.
So it's like cheating for me.
Uh-huh.
I've been, I think everybody knows my dislike of him until he proves me wrong. So let me get creative with this real quick.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with Jarrett Stidham. And why I say that is because I'm looking at the big picture.
Okay.
And we're speaking about a league where when you're given an opportunity, just like in the NBA, like we say with some of these guys that come off the bench or some of these undrafted guys that have to prove themselves to get a contract, sometimes you have to take advantage of what you have in front of you. Mm-hmm. And Jarrett Stidham has this opportunity come Sunday. Home stadium. He's got a coach like Sean Payton, who has always been able to get their quarterbacks up for the moment, and he's got a heck of a defense behind him. Mm-hmm. For Jarrett Stidham to be able to win a game like this and then go on and play in the Super Bowl, if he can play good enough to draw eyes to him around the league, there are always teams looking to give a quarterback a contract if they think that he can at least do a somewhat decent job as a starter. And I feel like this is an opportunity now that is being presented as Bo Nix goes down. Hey, do something with your opportunity. You have a defense that can help you out. Sean Payton is a heck of a coach. You're at your home stadium. Jarrett Stidham, you could maybe be out of the league in a couple of years, or maybe you could get a contract and actually extend your career and be something.
Yeah, this may be your make it or break it moment in the NFL.
Yeah.
This is your chance.
That's how I got creative with it.
I like it. I'm getting creative too, but I want to hear what Kyle's answer is.
Well, I was going to say to Kayla, also in terms of legacies being on the line, this is Jarrett Stidham's difference between your career being Nick Foles or Jacoby Brissett.
There you go.
Which again is...
That's a great point.
Yeah, there's levels to it.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
My answer is unequivocal. If it's most riding on the game specifically, the answer is Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
And the reason it's Matthew Stafford is twofold. One, He's 37 years old, about to turn 38 before the Super Bowl. You don't get that many more cracks at it at this point if you're Stafford. So the pressure to win is obviously higher for Stafford by virtue of being as old as he is. But second, Stafford is the most accomplished quarterback of this group. And maybe we'll look back and say Drake May will have a better career than Matthew Stafford. I don't know. But of this group, he is the most accomplished quarterback. He's going to win the MVP. And with an MVP and at least a second run to the Super Bowl, now the people who have said Matthew Stafford isn't a Hall of Famer, me, don't have as strong of an argument here. So for Matthew Stafford, part of it is you only get so many cracks at this to try and win again, but also your Hall of Fame case, which I know Matthew Stafford probably doesn't care about that much, but your legacy in terms of whether you are a Hall of Famer or whether you are kind of the secondary great quarterback of your era kind of lies here. Because if we go back 10 or 15 years from now and just see the list of Super Bowl champions or teams who went to the Super Bowl, you could say all Stafford had to do was wait for Brady and Manning and Rivers and the contemporaries of his generation to move on before he finally got his time in the sun. And we look back on Matthew Stafford's career differently than we did before. And maybe we still do that anyways, but adding a second Super Bowl post Peyton Manning, post Tom Brady, post Drew Brees, post all of Aaron Rodgers, all these contemporaries of his generation would really, I think, solidify Stafford as one of those all-time great quarterbacks. And the MVP will probably help a lot too, because it's just easier to say league MVP Matthew Stafford.
Some people right now think he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing for me. The only argument that I would have to what Kyle said, because he's right, it 100% drastically strengthens his Hall of Fame case, is the ring's already there. Like, he's already done it one. Like, he's got the ring already. If he was still chasing that ring, I would say there's still that prove it element to it. He's already there versus others that, granted, most of these are very young quarterbacks, haven't gotten there yet.
Counterpoint, though, was not the MVP of that Super Bowl, was not the MVP of that conference championship game. It was Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald.
Sure, but Cooper Kupp had to catch passes from somebody, but you're right. If he cares about his legacy amongst the greats, maybe, like, I don't know. Like, Matthew Stafford is not winning the Super Bowl this year and winning the MVP this year. In addition to that, does that put him into an elite tier of quarterbacks in some people's eyes? Maybe. I don't know if it moves the needle that much for me. He has the ring. He's been there. He's won before, so I give him that credit. That would be my only counter argument to what you said, Kyle.
All good arguments so far, by the way.
I think Drake May, there's an interesting case to be made for Drake May in the sense that, like, I don't think there's a question of whether or not he's a good quarterback. I think the question is, are you an elite quarterback? And
he's got time, though.
Yeah, of course he's got time, but how many times do you get here? And how many times,
Go ask Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. No, good point, especially because this year has been kind of a weird year.
Yep, and it's right there for you. It's
I
right there for the
gotcha.
thinking. But I want to get a little creative with something that builds off of what you said, Kayla.
Okay.
But from a different angle.
Okay.
What about Bo Nix? Because Bo's not playing. But if the Denver Broncos make it with Jarrett Stidham and make it to the Super Bowl, whether they win the Super Bowl or not, but they win this game, and whether they score a lot or the defense doesn't, no matter what, there are going to be elements to Bo Nix of, hey, and Bo's not going to selfishly root against his team, of course. I'm not suggesting that. But, hey, if the defense wins this game, it's Bo, you are only carried as far as your defense took you, a la when Peyton Manning won a ring with the Broncos last time at Levi Stadium.
Yep.
Or if Jarrett Stidham has a good game, like we talked about, he takes advantage of the moment and he throws for 3 touchdowns and 200-plus yards, it's, Bo, are you really that good? Are you just a system quarterback? In the end, I don't think Bo's at risk of losing his job or really even his reputation at this point. But depending upon how the Denver Broncos win, there are going to be the naysayers that creep in and talk about Bo Nix the same way, like Brock Purdy, for example, has dealt with the naysayers through all the success that he had early in his career.
Didn't we kind of see it with Nick Foles in a weird way?
Yeah.
Like in Philadelphia, and we saw the decline quickly of Carson Wentz. Like, granted, Carson kept getting hurt and whatever, but that is a weird thing to think about when a guy like Nick Foles went and won it all and then kind of was continued to get chances, and then Carson Wentz kind of went the opposite way. It doesn't happen often, but it is always an interesting point.
Really quick, Kayla, and we're going to try and bring this back if we have time later or in the final hour of the show, but just in case we don't get to it, what was your gut reaction when you saw Phillip Rivers is getting a very serious interview to be the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, and Josh Allen is sitting in on the interview, and Josh Allen really likes Phillip Rivers?
Like a big sigh of like, what? Like, not a great sigh. Like, because, look, when it all comes down to it, I get it. It was a fun story this year. I get it. He's been a high school coach. Is he deserving right now to be a head coach in the National Football League? No. I think a quarterback coach, something like that, okay. Around the facility as some sort of a upper management person, fine. A coach, no.
We are 13 days away from the trade deadline, a little less than that, actually, technically. And even if trades aren't happening, there's plenty of smoke and plenty of conversation. We're going around the league, including some notes about, yes, your Sacramento Kings to start the final hour of the final show of this week. Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram in Woodland. What's happening, Chad, for the Start Something New sales event?
There's no better way to start the year than in a new 2026 Ram 1500 Crew Cab. And right now you can save up to $14,000 off MSRP or save thousands with 0% financing for 60 months and still get the $7,000 Hoblet discount.
Wow. I love that you still have 0% financing available and that you still get the Hoblet discount.
That's why Hoblet has won dozens of customer service awards. And as a fifth-generation dealer, when you buy from Hoblet, you become part of the family. You will not find a better combination of savings and selection with over 400 new Rams available.
Search, select, and save through the whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$14,000 total net savings on select new 2026 Ram 1500 Laramie after $7,000 factory rebates and $7,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include $2,000 select inventory cash on select inventory, $1,000 SFS bonus cash, must finance through Stellantis, and $500 on the job upfit, must show eligible upfit. 5 of this net savings, see dealer for details.
Sactown sports fans, when the final buzzer sounds, the real action is just getting started. If you live for big moments, big crowds, and unforgettable nights, you'll find them all right here on the Sactown Sports Live Events calendar. Get ready to laugh until it hurts with Daniel Tosh, live January 24th at the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Then turn the volume all the way up with Ernest, bringing high energy country to Ace of Spades January 31st. Slow it down and vibe out when Jodeci delivers the classics live February 15th at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Experience iconic sounds and the smooth style of Chris Isaac February 28th at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. And rock legends Jefferson Starship take the stage March 15th at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Comedy, concerts, legendary performances. Find every show, every date, and plan your next big night out with the Sactown Sports Live Events calendar. Play hard, rock harder, only on Sactown Sports.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140. Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Kyle, I just gave us all credit during the break that we were May and June babies.
No! No! Turn this song off before I cry.
This is
Every
like
Friday.
Alan had the other song,
Every
and this
Friday.
is definitely the one that we're like.
Yes. And the good thing is you guys are going to forget that it's coming too.
No.
So like every week it's going to surprise you. And then you're just going to have Matt George burying his head into his hands.
Yeah,
I
or the
can't-
mic.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait till we get that copyright-free database so we don't have to deal with this anymore. I'd rather listen to Turn It Off! I'd rather listen to some beat made by ChatGPT that has like 3 instruments in it that goes doom, doom,
Right.
ting, doom, 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 ting. I'd rather listen to that
I think
than
it's just her voice.
yeah.
I mean, because she's a child.
Oh, she is?
Not anymore. I
Well,
can
she's
insult her
like
now.
14 in this music video.
And she shouldn't be singing. I'm glad
Something
she
like
changed her
that.
career.
Oh, that's wild.
She sounds like a Freeney. Broken ass car. That's what Rebecca Black sounds like.
It was a little off. She was 18 when the song came out.
Yeah. So see, she's
legal.
Never mind.
Oh, sorry, 17. Math.
Nope. Never mind. But she's an adult now, and I can tell her to her face, Rebecca, your song sucks.
Boo.
The show is way better. Matt George, Kayla Anderson, Kyle Ledbetter, who I wish I could take away his responsibilities as a
He's
DJ.
about to get more in the next segment.
I know,
so.
it's going to get... Yeah, that's true. We do have, for the first time ever, Kyle's Curveball, which is... We don't know.
We have no clue.
We said, Kyle, here's creative freedom. And do I regret that? I regret that quicker than the Niners regret paying Brandon Ayuk.
Well, I already told Jason Ross earlier today I'm going to snatch his chain for Friday Fun and Games. So we'll see how this goes.
What does that mean? Snatch his chain?
Like he's taking.
You know, he's got the domain, so I'm going to take his chain. It's going to, you know.
Do people steal chains? Is that something that people do?
I mean, they break them off guys in the NFL.
Which is crazy. Like, can we talk about? I know y'all look good, and I guess you have so much money. But what are you doing?
I can't stand that. And why do we wear that?
You know who used to do that a ton when he was with the Raiders is Michael Crabtree.
Oh yeah,
Michael Crabtree would be chained up.
Well, he's the famous one. He got his chain snatched.
That's what I'm saying.
He would look phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like,
Sure.
brother, you're getting grabbed and you're wearing a house around your neck.
Yes, it's jewelry in general. I used to ask Derrick Henry about his nose ring he would wear during play. I had a nose ring in high school. I couldn't even sleep with my nose ring without it being painful because it would fall out. So I can't even imagine playing football with a nose ring and you get hit. I'd ask Derrick about it all the time. He's like, nope. Doesn't worry. Doesn't bother me.
I mean, no one's going to tackle him. I mean, geez.
Yeah, he's just stiff arms everyone.
Football players are something special, let me tell you. But we're talking about the NBA because we're 13 days away from the trade deadline, and we're all desperate. We're desperate to play. Or to you know what? I will listen to Rebecca Black's Friday song start to finish without comment if it means we'll get a trade. I will do it. Don't do it now, Kyle. Put it away.
Doesn't that
Put it
mean
away.
now?
No, it hasn't happened yet. But Sam Amick, of course, friend of the station. You can hear him every week with Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross in the morning. Sam released an article with The Athletic, and it also included a excerpt from another Athletic, Sam Vecini, who we have to get on the show. Love Sam Vecini, too. His work is great. And they take us around the NBA with all these different rumors and conversations and just the latest notes on potential trades, just what's happening around the NBA as the trade deadline gets closer and closer. We'll start with the notes about the Sacramento Kings because Sam always has some Kings notes for us. We'll start with Keon Ellis. This is something that Sam's been talking about pretty openly, even on these airwaves for the last couple of weeks. He says a deal is almost certain to happen with Keon. I think that's right. The question is, though, is it for a draft pick or is it to include Keon to ship out another contract? I think that's still what's being debated or considered by the Kings. But the new nugget of information is we've heard like teams are interested. But Sam put a number to it. Sam said 10 teams, 10 different teams are interested
Pretty good number.
in Keon Ellis. And there are 8 playoff teams in each conference, so that's 16 total. I'd like to believe almost all 10 of them, if not all 10 of them, are probably playoff teams right now.
I would say so because it is a nice playoff piece to add. Again, we'd like to see it more of a sweetener situation here to move one of these bigger contracts. But I think I'm at the point, guys, and the listeners might be totally different from me in this opinion. I am at the point that we do need to probably just move Keon. I mean, I don't think he's gonna take nothing back, right?
No, you're getting something.
I think we got to come to the realization that something has to be moved. And if it is Keon, unfortunately, a guy we all like here, it's got to be him. I'm to the point where I think it just got to be made.
Yeah, it's not got to be. It's going to be at this point. Like Keon is...
and giving a number's big.
Yeah,
10 teams.
Keon's gonna go, and at the bare minimum, hopefully, it is for a late first round pick, which I think is good value. I mean, if you can turn an undrafted free agent into a first round pick, regardless of if it's like the 28th or 29th pick or whatever, like that's a good upgrade. That's good value.
Exactly.
But I do, like we talked about earlier, if the Kings walk out of the trade deadline, if at 12:01 on February 5th, the only move the Kings made was trading Keon Ellis for a draft pick, I think the Kings are disappointed with that, and I think the fan base absolutely should be disappointed with that. But yeah, Keon Ellis is gone. I would be stunned if it doesn't happen, and I don't think the Sacramento Kings feel good about their chances of signing him to an extension if they're not able to trade him.
And I think it's not like I don't think they hate each other.
No, not at all.
But it's like it's kind of the damage in a way has been done. Like I don't think you're a part of this team moving forward, even if they were like, well, we now see you as a part of this team. I think that's far beyond.
Yeah, just move on. Both sides want to move on. The Kings can get some sort of value for Keon, which is good. It's just hopefully they need more. We talked a lot about Domantas Sabonis at the start of the 12 o'clock hour. If you missed that, you can go and check that out. But Sam Amick provides some notes on Sabonis. One of the things he said is that Sabonis to the Raptors is a legitimate possibility. It's not just like, so there's a list of teams that have shown interest in Sabonis. It's the Wizards, the Suns, the Bulls, and now the Raptors. But the Raptors are the ones being labeled as like, there's legitimate, like, there's legs to this. There's smoke to this. This could, if a Sabonis trade is going to happen, it sounds like it's going to be Toronto.
Yeah, I think we had the detailed convo about that, and I would really encourage you to go back, listen to the whole conversation we had about Sabonis after all the shows today on YouTube. You can go check that out or the podcast. But I think with Sabonis in the needs of Toronto right now, that is what makes the most sense, because we talked about Anthony Davis as the other kind of center out there that they could potentially bring on. I think that's more of a situation where we'd go, if I was Toronto, you'd go Sabonis over AD. I just don't know if it's going to happen because, again, is he a fit long term? All of the stuff that goes along with it. What is Scott Perry, wanting in return? That's where we don't know if that would happen. It could get pretty detailed.
Right. When Sam was on with Dave and Jason yesterday, he did bring up or talk a little bit about the rumored DeMar DeRozan to the Golden State Warriors as a potential Jimmy Butler replacement. And what Sam said on these airwaves, he said he presented it almost as like he hadn't heard there was much interest, but he'd heard that from the DeMar DeRozan side of things.
Yeah.
Like DeMar wasn't too thrilled with the idea of playing for the Warriors.
Sure.
In this article, Sam talks about the Warriors have shown no interest in DeMar DeRozan, that they're eyeing other players, including they really like Trey Murphy from the Pelicans. So I don't think maybe things could change, but I never really thought that DeMar DeRozan to the Warriors had a ton of legs to stand on. I think it's definitely an option, but if we're talking like plan A, B, C, D, E, we're getting in the F, G, H range.
And that might have been more so, Matt, too, just, again, the ongoing conversation to try to move Jonathan Kaminga. And, with the Kings connected to that so much, like, it was almost like, what would the Warriors take? Oh, DeMar DeRozan, like he could somewhat fit now that with Butler gone, but not really. So I think that's probably dead and gone out of the water when it comes to Golden State, at least.
Yeah, and those are the Warriors notes, the Kings notes, at least, from Sam.
So the other thing with Trey Murphy is that the Warriors have been trying to get him since last trade deadline, and the Pelicans are like, A, no, B, but yes, if you give us 3 first-round picks.
Right.
And
The Pelicans can play real hardball with Trey Murphy, and they're going to because a lot of teams have interest in Trey Murphy.
I saw a report that was like the Pelicans are withholding 6 players as untouchables. I'm like, my guy, you are 8 wins. Why do you have 6 untouchables?
They don't have a first-round pick, so they don't need to worry about the roster spots, I suppose. Well, Sam also talks about the New York Knicks, and he mentions that the Knicks owner, James Dolan, he did an interview for the first time in forever. He did a radio interview for the first time in years.
Has Vivek done radio ever?
I think he has before, but not for a very, very
He did
long time.
one time during the Beam Team season with Dave.
Okay.
That is the
I was
only.
just curious.
I've only been here 4 years. Maybe someone else could help, but that's the only time he's done, I think, any interview.
Okay.
Yeah, doesn't really matter. The last time I saw Vivek do an interview, I think he did one with CBS 13 in town, but that was primarily talking about the A's to Sacramento and all that stuff that was going on. So, but the reason why I bring that up, and Sam brings that up in the article, is because Dolan made it very, very clear in his interview, like we already knew this, but it's coming from the mouth of the owner, like it's championship or bust. And we talked earlier in the week about Mike Brown and the rumors and conversations around Mike Brown, and the pressure is only going to start to build for Mike as the playoffs get here, because that's the time that he got hired to get this team to win a title. And if he doesn't, I don't know how long he's going to last there. I'd imagine he'd last beyond this year in New York, but I don't know. There's a lot of pressure on him and that entire team to succeed, and the Knicks are having issues right now. They're struggling to win basketball games. There's a little turmoil and animosity within the Knicks organization, and, well, Karl Anthony Towns seems to be right at the center of it, and there's been a pattern there. This is nothing new with Karl Anthony Towns. So as much as people want to get on Mike Brown and go, hey, we've heard about players not liking Mike or agreeing with Mike's coaching in multiple different stops. Yeah, well, Karl Anthony Towns has made a career out of not exactly being the easiest guy to work with and not exactly being a winning basketball player.
It's always amazing to me when players choose to be that guy. Like, it's one thing to have a reputation around the league sometimes is, being a dude that's hard to kind of understand, like Draymond Green. Like, he's just a different guy, but he works for what they have there, and Steve Kerr loves him and whatever. But Cat just seems to dig his own grave places, and it's weird with Mike Brown in particular, because I think he is now used more so for players like that as like a scapegoat, as like, we're just gonna, Mike Brown's here. I'm gonna put some blame on him, when it's funny because it's like, you might be the issue.
Yeah.
So
it seemed, and Kat's had that reputation before of not always being the most winning player, and Mike has not called him out directly saying we're not winning because of Karl Anthony Towns. He's not stupid, but Mike has been critical of Karl Anthony Towns' play, and he's not been very good over this stretch. The Knicks have struggled, and I think it's fair to talk about. However, Sam does report that even though the issues are surrounding Cat, there is no conversation in New York about trading Karl Anthony Towns. They still see it hopefully working out there, which makes sense. Although Sam did put that note in there that if anybody's going to potentially throw a wrench into that, it's Giannis. And if Giannis wants to come to the Knicks, you know what, Cat, see ya. Or you know what, I don't know if they'd get rid of Brunson. Well, if it's Brunson for Giannis Antetokounmpo,
like a switch,
maybe they'd.
It would have to be Cat. You can't play Giannis and Cat together.
Yeah, probably. No. Yeah. So and if the Bucks only get Cat and some sort of draft compensation in return for Giannis, then
and Deuce McBride.
Dude, that'd be not good.
Yikes. So I don't think that's happening. So it sounds like it's not like, oh, Cat's on the outs and Mike Brown and Cat's relationship is unrepairable. It's nothing like that, but it's a note that things aren't going so swell in New York, and pressure's on everybody from Brunson to Cat to Mike to that Josh Hart, all that entire roster to win a title this year. And not all is right as rain over there, and Karl Anthony Towns has been kind of a common denominator with that in his group.
I think if anything, it's always going to be interesting to monitor that just moving forward in general, even past the trade deadline if nothing happens. Like, how is this really going to end up there with Mike Brown this season and all, the success they've had up to a certain point this year?
Yeah, we got a comment on YouTube, and again, this is the low-hanging fruit that people are going to jump at, and of course, I'm a Mike Brown guy, so I'm going to stand in front of Mike Brown a little bit. It's PE Time 5469, shout out you. Says like, shocker, Mike Brown losing a locker room. It's like, one, there is no extreme conversation of Mike losing the locker room. There's a disconnect between him and his star player who has a history of having disconnects with people. Granted, Mike also has a history of having disconnects with people. But the leader of the team, Jalen Brunson, is the guy pulling everybody together for a players-only meeting and saying, look, it doesn't matter what the coaches are saying. We have to go out there and win basketball games. Mike Brown wasn't here last year when we made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, it's on us.
Yeah.
We're a good enough team. We know we're a good enough team. We have to go out and win a title. So don't blame Mike Brown or anybody else for we have to go out there and win. We're not playing good basketball right now. We won the NBA Cup. We know we can do it. Let's go out there and figure things out. That's the right approach to have. So lumping it all on Mike Brown, I think, is really lazy and really easy to do. And that's just the problem with coaching in general these days. Is it's a lot easier to blame one guy than it is to blame a roster.
Right. And then, like you already said, he's putting it out there. It's pretty much championship or bust.
Yep. So that's how Mike will be judged. Mike should not be judged on how happy Karl Anthony Towns is. Mike should be judged on whether or not this team gets across the finish line, and if he could do with this team what Tom Thibodeau could not. The Hornets were also mentioned in this article from Sam Amick because there's lots of chatter around LaMelo Ball.
Okay.
The conversations of how serious does he take things, how much of a winning basketball player he is. You talk about a player that's constantly banged up. LaMelo Ball is at the center of that, but according to Sam, there is still hope in Charlotte that they can make it work with him. He's their franchise player, and I also think in terms of like the Trae Young market and the Ja Morant market, I think the Charlotte Hornets also know now is not the time for us to call it quits on LaMelo because we're probably not getting good value for LaMelo.
No, I'm curious as really quick your position on this. We had this talk with the Drive guys when I was filling in, and we had the LaMelo Ball conversation. At the time, it was like, would you take Trae, LaMelo, or Ja?
Yep.
And we came to the conclusion, I think almost all of us, that LaMelo was not a fit for here.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the vibe from LaMelo, great player in terms of just natural ability and like all of that. Like, I do not get the effort part of this guy that he really loves basketball that much. That's what I get. I don't think that would work at all here. Not saying that's anything we're talking about, but it was funny because we were all like, no. I think Alan was somebody who mentioned on the Drive guys recently that he wouldn't be opposed to that.
Yeah, what's funny is LaMelo is of the bigger guard variety.
Yeah.
So in theory, like that, you would on paper, I
Like
think Perry likes that better than he would like a Trae Young. Look, it's not a secret. Perry did not like Trae Young, never liked the idea of Trae Young coming to Sacramento, so that was never really a conversation. The Ja Morant versus LaMelo Ball conversation. First off, the Kings wouldn't offer a lot for either of them, period, for obvious reasons, especially when it comes to draft compensation. And both of those teams will be searching for draft compensation. We'll talk about actually a note about the Grizzlies in just a second from Sam Vecini. But you're looking at LaMelo Ball's size, essentially, the intangibles of LaMelo Ball versus the attitude in a way of Ja. I think Ja, when he's locked in, when he's aggressive, when he plays with kind of that get out of my way attitude, I think that more fits Perry and Doug's vision for
if it
things.
wasn't a lot of messy stuff.
Yeah, there's just a lot of other stuff, right? And there's also the fear for both of these guys. There's the fear of are they able to stay healthy? Yeah. But I think there's so much about LaMelo Ball on paper that would be very good for the Sacramento Kings.
Right? Yeah.
But you're starting a rebuild and you're going to use assets to go out and get a star that you're trying to build around. Nah.
I don't want my younger guys taking examples from
no.
Nah.
And look, LaMelo is I mean, he's very flashy, he's very entertaining. You're allowed to have a personality in the NBA. Look at Dylan Cardwell. Like, you're allowed to be goofy and have this fun-loving, but there have been stories and rumors and talk around LaMelo Ball the entire time of, is he a basketball player or is he a celebrity that plays basketball? Yeah. And it just seems to be the latter more often than not with him. So yeah, I don't think there should be any interest from the Sacramento Kings whatsoever in the Hornets, but I get arguments on paper for why, like, a really good ball handler, a bigger guard who is a true point guard who can assist. Like, yeah, there's upside to LaMelo for sure. That's why Charlotte wants to try and find a way to work it out. But Charlotte also doesn't want to sell low on him for absolutely nothing right now, which is what the market is. Which leads great into the note from Sam Vecini from The Athletic today about the Memphis Grizzlies. One of the interesting notes of what he said was, like, the view of Ja Morant's contract around the league is it's fine if he's healthy. Mm-hmm. Like, it's expensive, but it's a good value for Ja Morant if he's healthy, and the Ja Morant that he was at the beginning of his career with the Grizzlies when he was leading them into the playoffs. But if he's not healthy, it's really, really bad. And on one hand, you're like, no duh. If a player's not healthy and you're paying them money, it's a waste of money. But for Ja, that's the conundrum is, one, what's Ja like between the ears on the floor? Yep. And off the floor. Mm-hmm. And two, can Ja stay on the floor because of the health issues and him being banged up? He's owed $39.4 million this year, then $42.1 next year, and $44.8 the following year. But the line from this article and what this entire like blurb from Sam Vecini was about was the Grizzlies, quote, won't just give him away. Okay. Then you're not like good. Like, I don't blame you. You shouldn't. But you're not getting anything for him.
It's just they've been put in a really crappy position, too, because they, I think, overall would love for Ja to be the face of the franchise and continue for years to come to be that guy. Mm-hmm. However, it's been so bad with Ja in terms of the injuries. I think I read something in the last 2 years. It was like 30-something% of the games he's played. Mm. That's insanity. Yeah. And so, it's the injuries, right? And then that probably attributes to the frustrations he's had with coaches. He's even gotten into it a little with players. I think that is really the injury frustration has made him frustrated with his team. Mm-hmm. And then that's getting out there that he's not a great teammate, like all this stuff. When I don't know if that's really the major problem. I think Ja's so frustrated with the injuries continuing to plague his career in the prime of it, that we're getting the frustrated Ja. And this is because I think he really does love the game of basketball and wants to play the game of basketball. But you're right. They're not just going to give him away. They're going to stick and wait until they get exactly what they want. And guess what? That's your problem then, because he's probably not going anywhere right now.
Well, look, the Memphis Grizzlies got a haul from Orlando for Desmond Bane over the offseason too. Yep. And they should not expect to get anything really like that again unless they're trading Jaren Jackson Jr. Mm-hmm. Jaren Jackson Jr. that's the piece that if they want to cash in the most for, I think teams would be willing to throw a lot to bring Jaren Jackson in, one of the best defenders in the league, defensive player of the year.
I think he has 5 years left on his contract now.
So you're trading for him and you're paying for him, don't get me wrong, but you have full control over him and he's one of the best defenders in the league. So I think a lot of teams would, you want multiple first round picks? We'll potentially have that conversation for Jaren Jackson Jr. But even like you got 4 unprotected firsts for Desmond Bane. I don't think you're getting that for Jaren Jackson Jr. even. So good on the Grizzlies for cashing in on that for Bane when they could. It's not happening for Ja and is probably not happening for Triple J.
And again, not in the market right now.
So, the Kings, I would love for Jaren Jackson Jr. to be on the Kings.
Oh, yeah.
Jaren Jackson Jr. is one of the guys that seriously, if I was Scott Perry, I would consider giving up multiple first-round picks for. The only problem that I have, the only hesitation that I have with it, though, is timeline-wise, it does not make sense because the Kings aren't winning anything anytime soon. So you're bringing Jaren Jackson Jr. in 3 of those 5 years that you're paying him for, you're probably going to be just like a whatever team.
Exactly.
Which is also the same reason why Memphis should be interested in Domas, even though they want to turn it around. Because, Kayla, I'm telling you, if you were to create a perfect archetype of a front court pairing for Sabonis, it would be Jaren Jackson Jr. Like just the most perfect archetype you could imagine.
You would hope
really
so.
Interesting.
So I would love for Jaren Jackson. You know who would love Jaren Jackson Jr. here? Doug Christie.
Goodness, right?
Doug Christie would honestly.
Pairing made in heaven.
I think genuinely, and I'm not trying to be like over exaggerating. If you were to ask Doug Christie right now, hey, give me a list of top 3 players that you'd want right now in Sacramento. You can pick You only get one of them, but who are your top three?
Okay.
Jaren Jackson Jr. is in that top
Who's
three.
the other two?
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Kate Cunningham.
Okay. There we go. Ah!
Those are, yeah.
Because that archetype of point guard is perfect to pair with Sabonis.
Yeah, I would say, either it would be any of those three.
Nice.
I'm trying to think. I don't think they'd be top three at all, but I think Doug would love his hands on like a Scotty Barnes. I think Doug would he loves these physical, defensive-minded guys. And Cade has the capability of playing defensive-minded basketball.
This is not like a first-choice guy, but like a Tamani Kamara would be great.
Yeah, not even close to a first choice. But
no, that's like
that realm of things.
If we're talking Doug's type,
yeah,
yes.
I think like a Jaylen Brown makes a ton of sense. Although Jalen's a little on the older side, but that just goes to speak to Jaren Jackson Jr.'s in that group where if the Kings were going to go all in for anybody, that's what it would make sense for them to go all in for. They would, in theory, go all in for. But again, it doesn't make sense for them to go all in right now, so it doesn't really matter. But that's just a fun hypothetical conversation to have. But get ready for a curveball, Kayla.
Holy smokes. I'm a little worried.
I'm very worried.
I hope he doesn't do us dirty here.
I have no idea what Kyle's
never
going to
do that to you.
Kyle's curveball.
You are pretty nice.
We're giving Kyle control. He gets the reins of the next segment of the show. What will it be? No clue. We'll find out after the break.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options. Heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
At InShape, there's a place for every kind of mover. The Sometimer, the early riser, after-work grinder, the yogi, lifter, walker, runner, sauna seeker, recoverer. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
You remember me from a show called And Joe? I'm back on the radio, Sacramento. It's Joe Mommy, and when you need your new country fix, join me weekdays from 6 to 10 for the Pat and Cody with Joe show on New Country 105.1 KNCI or on the free KNCI app.
When life calls for a little extra, a kitchen upgrade, paying off debt, or that dream vacation, Valley Strong Credit Union is here to help. With a Valley Strong home equity loan, you can tap into your home's value with competitive rates, flexible terms, and local guidance you can trust. Get approved in as little as 5 minutes, with funding in as few as 5 days. Your goals are within reach. Visit valleystrong.com to get your offer today. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 456506.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 916-619-3000 or visit revivemenshealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
The winter service event is on at Maida Subaru. Now is the time to let Maida Subaru get your Subaru road ready for the winter weather with exceptional savings on tires, brakes, wiper blades, and more. See all the service specials at maidasubaru.com.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
I'm scared.
Me too.
For the first time in this show's short history, we're handing the keys over completely to Kyle Ledbetter. Kyle, all I ask is don't let this be the last show because of something that you do. Kyle's Curveball. Kyle, take it away. What are we doing?
Thank you for gifting me the opportunity to
steal Jason Ross's chain or something.
Yeah, I'm snatching chains here today.
Chain snatcher.
Names.
Already told Jason Ross that I'm coming for him. And you guys didn't like Friday Fun and Games today, so maybe this will be a little bit better.
Well, I didn't like it because I lost and I'm a sore loser.
Well, this will be better. I hope that I hope we can conclude that. Have you guys heard about this thing called the 2016 challenge?
I have.
Yes.
On the internet. It's where young people and people Matt's age, will post pictures of themselves.
Get lit.
From
On God.
Get lit.
For real.
They'll post pictures of themselves from 2016 or around then and talk about how great the world was back in 2016.
Yeah, it was bussin'.
So what I've done is I've created a 2016 challenge out for our show here today. Where I'm going to ask you guys a variety of questions.
Okay.
I graduated college in 2016.
Oh, so he's going to remember all this. I don't even know where I was in 2016. I got to, where in my career was I? got to think about this.
This is where were you pre-Nashville? Probably there.
Ohio.
So probably there.
Hey.
There we go. Yeah, that's where I was.
I was a freshman in high school, so
Nerd.
It's going to be fantastic.
Unreal.
Man. So we'll start off here.
Okay.
This is a radio station after all. Let's go music. On this date, 10 years ago, Billboard released their top 100. Which song was at the top of the Billboard 100? If you think you can do it off top, good, but I have multiple choice for you.
No, I can't do it off
Yeah,
top.
no, definitely multiple choice.
All right.
Well, hold on. I'm trying to think, top artists at that time. Okay, so, God, I remember high school better than college.
Yeah.
Some of these have multiple choice. Some of them you just got to do it off top based on what I think your skill levels are.
Bruno was really big at that time. This was early days of Post Malone. We talked about them earlier in the year or in the show.
Let him just give us
give him multiple choice.
All right, your 4 choices for the number 1 song on January 23rd, 2016. Is it Sorry by Justin Bieber?
Oh.
Shake It Off by Taylor Swift? Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars? Or Hotline Bling by Drake?
Oh, I'm going Sorry.
You're going, that's what you're on?
Yeah.
I would say Uptown Funk, Bruno. That song was everywhere during that time.
We have a correct answer, and it goes to Kayla Anderson.
Ah! You want
Sorry.
to know why I know this real quick?
Why is that?
Because Johnny Manziel was ousted out of Cleveland at the time. He was bebopping around with Justin Bieber, and they were in Columbus, Ohio, and we were tasked to chase them down and get photos. And I remember that was the time of Bieber.
Yes, Justin Bieber must have dropped his album recently because I believe 3 of the top 5 were Justin Bieber on the top 100.
He had dropped an album, but that song's not even close to his best. Not even close.
It's a pretty good one, though.
I mean,
it's a good song.
It is the number 1 song from that album, which included What Do You Mean and various other songs.
What Do You Mean is a way better song.
That is a great song.
What do you mean? I actually like Justin Bieber a lot.
I do too.
Not afraid to admit it.
I'm a huge Bieber fan.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a boy.
I'm 40.
Yeah. All right, let's go to movies. How about that?
Oh, we can do this.
I'm going to not do
What
well.
movie was number 1 at the box office the weekend of January 23rd, 2016? If you think you can get it off top, good, but I have multiple choice.
Yeah, do a multiple choice.
All right, your options are Kung Fu Panda 3,
Please no.
Deadpool, The Revenant, or Star Wars The Force Awakens?
No one liked that movie, but still a lot of people saw it. The Force Awakens.
Okay.
The Revenant was really, really, really good, and it gave Leo his first Oscar, so everybody celebrated it for that sense, but I don't remember there being a big hype around it when it came out.
Uh-huh.
It's either Star Wars. What was the second one you said? It's definitely not Kung Fu
Deadpool.
Panda. Deadpool was massively popular, but I remember because I saw Deadpool right around Valentine's Day, so I think that might be a little too early. I am going to go Star Wars even though nobody liked it.
I'm going to go Deadpool.
No correct answer. The Revenant was the #1 box office movie. Star Wars was the previous 4 weeks, but it lost its chain to Leo DiCaprio.
I didn't see The Revenant, so
It's
I
a
don't
good
know.
movie, but I don't remember it being like, oh, you got to go see The Revenant. It's just like, this is going to be the movie that Leo finally wins an Oscar, but it wasn't like, oh my God, go and see The Revenant. It's the greatest movie ever.
Well,
there was none of that hype.
Star Wars, you're on the right track. It was the 4 weeks prior.
Okay.
Next up, let's go to television. Now, in this day and age, the #1 program every single year is Sunday Night Football. I mean, football just has all of the broadcasts. But here's the thing. Back in 2016, there were 2 television shows that were watched more in American households than Sunday Night Football.
Okay.
Do streaming services count?
No, this is network cable television.
Okay.
Can you name one or both?
The Office?
What were old people watching?
That is incorrect. Not The Office.
What were old people watching?
What were old people watching?
Because they're the ones that watch freaking TV, man. It's gonna be some.
Get more highly rated than Sunday Night Football in 2016. What a time that was in the world. Because nowadays it's like Sunday Night Football, Thursday Night Football. Everything is the
I want
number.
to say either like Dancing with the Stars or Survivor.
How about The Bachelor? Nah.
Or The Bachelor might be up there. I'm gonna say Survivor for one of them, but I don't think so.
Here's your hint. Both aired on CBS.
Oh, Criminal. No. CSI.
You're close.
NCIS.
Ding 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 ding
what
ding.
old people watch. My grandma watched that.
Yeah, we were close.
That's
we were
one
on
of
the
them.
track.
The other one, I think you should be able to get.
Is it like it's like an actual drama show?
No.
Is it game like a competition?
No.
Is
It is a sitcom.
Oh.
Big Bang Theory?
That is correct.
Oh my goodness.
The #1 show in 2016 was The Big Bang Theory. This wasn't even their last season either. They were just still running things, and they still are, because
wild.
their third spinoff is still on TV.
Not that great of a show.
I never watched.
All right, well, how about Sacramento Kings?
Oh, I'm going to lose this
we
one.
have to?
Well, on January 23rd, 2016, the Sacramento Kings, who were the 8th seed in the West at the time, beat the Indiana Pacers by a final score of 108-97. First of all, do you know who the head coach was of the Kings during that season?
It was
He'll know, so he's going to get this right.
Dave Yeager.
No.
Wait,
2016.
Oh, sorry, 2016. I'm so sorry. Before Dave Yeager was.
Disappointed in you, Matt.
Yeah, it was this. I don't want this to be. And for some reason I'm blanking on his name. And he's a famous coach, Denver Nuggets. Why am I? George Karl.
There you go.
Yeah, George Karl.
Yes, the George Karl led. This was the tumultuous George Karl season that led to him getting fired and Dave Yeager getting hired.
Yep.
So, in this victory, which of these players did not suit up for the Sacramento Kings that night? Was it Rudy Gay, Omri Caspi, Aaron Afalo, or Costa Koufos?
How dare you? It's Aaron Aflalo.
It's Aaron Afalo.
So they were on the team, but they didn't suit up?
No, 3 of those players played in that game. One did not.
Wait.
Which one do you
Aaron
think did
Aflalo
not play?
was for sure on the team. Rudy Gay was for sure on the team. Costa Koufos, that would be in the early days of Costa. And then what was the 4th one?
It was Rudy Gay, Omri Caspi, Aaron Afalo, and Costa Koufos.
I think this was. It's either Costa or Omri, and I think Omri was gone at this time, and then he came back early in the Golden One Center time. But I don't.
I'll just say Rudy Gay. I know it's wrong, but
I'll say Omri.
We have no correct answer
Costa?
here. Aaron Affalo was...
Aaron Afflalo was gone?
2016-17 was his 1 year in Sacramento.
He's baiting. These are bait answers. He's doing like close enough. It's like that 2 truths and a
Yeah,
lie game.
yeah.
But the lie is like half truth. It's bait.
Rudy Gay had 15 points. Omri Caspi had, I had these earlier, I think 11. And Costa Kufas played, I think, like 11 minutes. Also, Seth Curry was on that team.
That was the season, and George Karl said Seth Curry basically sucked. That was the season where the Kings had 3 20-point scorers in Isaiah Thomas, Rudy Gay, and DeMarcus Cousins, and all sucked, which is crazy.
This is the Darren Collison season.
George Karl lasted that long?
He did. I don't know if George Karl ever coached Isaiah Thomas.
Yes, he did. Because he talked about having 3 20-point scorers and not winning games is crazy. I almost guarantee you he did.
Well, anyways, 2016 was post Isaiah Thomas. He was already in maybe Boston, maybe Phoenix. I don't know. Anyways, how about just some rapid fire? We got some sports ones here. Who was the MLB champion, the defending World Series champions on January 23rd, 2016?
So they won it in 2015.
They would be...
Yeah, they won it in 2015 because baseball season hasn't started yet in January. The 2015 MLB...
Wait, 2015?
Yeah.
Who was the champions of baseball? Matt is correct, yes.
Yeah, they won in 2015. They were defending champions because the 2016 season hasn't started yet.
On this date, who was the champions of baseball?
I want to say... My gut says the Kansas City Royals... Wait, 2020.
Wait.
No, because
this is January of 2016.
Who won the year after the Giants won the last time? 10, 12, 14 were Giants. Who won 15?
Was that the Cubs year?
Don't remember. I don't know. I'll go Royals. I think that's wrong.
Cubs?
I don't remember.
We have a correct answer, and it goes to Matt George, the
Royals?
Kansas City Royals.
Okay.
You want to guess who the World Series MVP was?
On the Royals? I don't know. Oh, he was the first baseman, right? Nope, I don't remember.
Salvador Perez.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the catcher. Anyways, this weekend in 2016, there were also, surprisingly, AFC and NFC championship games. Can you name the 4 teams that were playing in the AFC and NFC championship games?
You got to carry this one, Kayla. I have no clue.
I can't.
2016 Super Bowl.
Well, if we're in Super Bowl 60...
2016 Super Bowls, Super Bowl 50. This was before the
This is where I need multiple choice.
Before the Chiefs dynasty.
Okay. Who played at the previous Super Bowl at Levi's 10 years ago?
Broncos.
Oh yeah, Broncos. We just mentioned that.
So but the Broncos make it 2 years in a row? Did they?
Well, 10 years ago was the Levi's Super Bowl, so you got one team.
Broncos. So Broncos, Panthers.
That's 2.
Who did the Panthers? Broncos beat the Patriots.
That's 3.
And the Panthers beat...
You got Broncos, Panthers, Patriots.
Who did the Panthers beat? Cam Newton versus who?
This is the one that's tougher.
Because they were like...
I'm just failing miserably. My brain is completely
Kayla,
shut down.
you need to carry me here.
Next time we'll do something other than a quiz, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not good at quizzes. Not gonna lie.
No, quizzes are fun.
Bad
quizzes are fun. It's just you're asking us to remember 10 years ago, and we're old.
Just throw out a guess. Any guess?
Seahawks. I don't know.
Kayla?
I don't remember who they played.
Yeah, Panthers. I forgot where we're at.
The correct answer was Carson Palmer's Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, gee, yeah, I should have remembered that. Who cares?
I forgot Carson Palmer. Yeah.
All right, we're out of time here, so rapid fire. Who was the college football champion?
Wait, 2016,
This
right?
is January of 2016, so 2015 season.
Okay, so let's see. Not Ohio State.
Alabama.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Alabama.
What's the next one?
Who was the Heisman Trophy winner at this time?
Alabama.
A quarterback?
No.
And a quarterback?
It's not a quarterback.
Wait. The wide receiver for Alabama. Freaking Devontae Smith?
That was 2020.
Oh, I'm a little bit out of range there.
It was Derrick Henry is the correct answer. And we're out of time. This has been the first edition of Kyle's Curveball.
And we'll never do it again.
And I failed.
No, we'll definitely do it again. Thanks, Kyle. We're coming right back with Whitey Gleason next.
This Sactown Sports 49ers report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. 49ers season comes to a close in Seattle on Saturday, losing 41-6. San Francisco playing without All-Pros George Kittle, Fred Warner, and Nick Bosa, and the injuries proved to be too much to overcome. San Francisco finishes the year 13-6. As for Seattle, they advanced to the conference championship game, where they will take on LA, who defeated Chicago in overtime 20-17. Catch that game right here on Sactown Sports beginning at 3.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. People say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal. Then you see the price and lose it, because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So, looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Get more for your money at Elk Grove Chevrolet, where value meets style. Purchase a new 2026 Chevrolet Trax for just $299 per month plus tax. The Trax delivers more for less with a sleek design, impressive fuel economy, and tech that keeps you connected. Conveniently located in Elk Grove, just minutes from Sacramento. Visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com today for full details and see why the Trax is such a smart choice.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
And what a great job they're doing.
Great. Thank you, laddie.
Wait, can I try my top of the morning to ya?
That's not what Scottish people don't say top.
Whoops. What's that, Irish?
Hello.
Kayla's like,
hello, puppet.
You're a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry.
Can I get you some tea and crumpets, darling?
Lady.
It's Friday. We've all lost our minds.
All right. He saved the ladybug, by the way. We forgot to ask him about it.
You put it outside. You booted it. You evicted the ladybug.
Ladybugs hibernate.
Yeah, but it was warm and chilling in here. The morning show was very upset.
Yeah, but they need to be outside to hibernate because it's it's going to get crushed or something here.
Yeah.
They actually produce antifreeze when they hibernate.
But she loves Jason.
Well, she still loves Jason.
Yeah.
She's just sleeping.
Yeah, she's getting eaten by something out there.
I was not surprised though when we heard that because I was like, why do he know? Like he's got a very good brain for the outdoors and animal. You've told me cool stories about animals and kittens.
Nerd.
So I was like, yes. doesn't
animal
surprise
nerd.
me.
If there's such a thing as an animal nerd, guilty.
Animal Planet. I watch Animal Planet.
National Geographic Center.
Yeah. Do you have the National Geographic app on your phone?
No, I don't.
Yeah, he hesitated.
Wait,
he
is there
hesitated.
one? I
Yes,
didn't even
and
know.
only old people have it. Did you watch NCIS in 2016? Of course you did.
No.
No?
Yeah,
More of a Blue Bloods
The
guy.
original CSI was awesome, but after that, the rest of them are
Okay.
like,
I know.
No, not your cup of tea.
Nope.
Hey, well, I failed miserably at Fun and Games with Jason Ross.
No, I did.
No, you won.
I failed the other
Yeah,
one.
you failed miserably
Yeah.
at Kyle's 2016 quiz.
I struck
Well,
out.
somebody knew that "Sorry" was the number 1 song.
So let's both fail miserably at whatever
Yeah.
Whitey's bringing to the table. Whitey said, "Hey, I'm bringing a football thing."
Yes.
And
welcome.
I said, "Okay, I don't want to plan."
With the conference championship games coming up, welcome to the football feud. Yeah. Now, I think I goofed something up already.
Oh, jeez.
Christopher Laud was going to play, and I think I told him the wrong time. I think I told him like 2:40. Anyway, either he mixed it up or I didn't. I think it was me. So he was going to play, but he's not going to be able to play, I don't think.
Okay.
But the teams today, it's Matt and Kayla, the radio family, the on-air family, against Kyle Ledbetter, the Bordoff family.
Oh, I can take him down by myself.
You may have to, and
You
that's
probably can.
That's my fault.
Kyle
We
sucks.
celebrate today on the Football Feud, the upcoming this weekend, conference championship games. So sorry, you can't look at this. And
I'm not. I can't. I don't. It doesn't matter. I could look at it and still get it wrong.
Real cheater, Matt George.
No, I'm gonna look this way.
Kyle, since you're the only player on your team, I assume you're the team captain.
Yeah, I am.
All right, come on now.
All right, I'm here.
And Matt,
No, Kayla.
Kayla,
Kayla's
all right,
team
Kayla.
captain.
Okay.
There we go.
All right, we're supposed to like shake hands at the feud,
No,
Kayla.
we don't
so-
do that. We don't shake hands on this team.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah?
When you know the answer, say your name out loud. You don't have to. Don't answer yet. You get a chance to answer.
Oh,
You're
okay.
trying to buzz in before
Yep,
he does.
yep.
Buzz.
All right. So we have the top 7 on the board. Can you name the NFL franchise? So it's either Kyle or Kayla. Can you name the NFL franchise that has made the most appearances in a conference championship game?
Kayla.
Yes, yes, Kayla.
New England Patriots?
New England Patriots is tied for the number 2 answer with 16. That means, because it's not the number 1 answer, Kyle gets a chance to top it. What do you think, Kyle?
San Francisco 49ers.
Number 1 answer at 19.
You let us down.
So you've got the number 1 answer, 19, 49ers. Number 2 tied.
You let us down.
For 16 is New England. But Kyle, you have control of the board. Will you pass or will you play?
You
The
know
football
what?
feud. You can look, Matt. I'm holding it up.
Not my captain.
I am gonna.
Come on now.
She did okay.
I would have lost way worse.
You know what, Whitey? I'm such a good guy. I'm gonna pass it
No,
to my
no,
friends.
Boo!
That's
He's
the
gonna pass.
worst thing.
No, see, that's fake friendship.
Okay, fine. Then I'll play,
I don't want to play.
Whitey. All right, I will play then.
Oh, by the way, Christopher Laud gave a wrong answer. He just texted me.
Oh, you got it wrong.
I'm not going to say
They got it wrong. His team got it wrong.
That's right. I'm going to count that.
That's one X.
Christopher Laud
hilarious.
says Chiefs.
God, what an idiot.
What a nerd.
Strike 1.
Loser.
Yeah, the Chiefs, by the way, had 8, and you need 11 to make this list.
Right.
Strike 1. Kyle, back over to you.
You said top 7?
Top 7 on the board.
And we have Patriots and 49ers. I will go with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers, huh?
Yes.
Pittsburgh Steelers, 16 appearances, tied for second. Well done.
Mine.
Yes.
And we move on.
We only
Only
need one.
4
We
more on
only
the
need one
list.
to steal if he gets 3 strikes.
One strike,
I
you can't
know.
just see it.
Is Verlaud up?
Verlaud said, don't pass. So I think he's a little behind.
That counts. That's an X.
So it's you, Kyle. You're
Okay,
still out.
I'll go with the Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers. Boy, it's a great franchise, isn't it?
It is.
Packers, they won the first couple Super Bowls. Survey says Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
Packers
Okay.
had 9, so that's strike 2 against you.
That was my guess.
And Christopher Laud has not weighed in yet. He is driving, so I understand. I understand. We appreciate what he's done to this point. So back to you, Kyle.
Sorry, do I have 1 or 2 strikes?
You have 2 strikes.
Okay, so Verlaud's already let me down.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
1 is 49ers, 2 is Patriots, 3 is Steelers. We're looking for the top 7 on the board. The teams with the most conference championship game appearances. 49ers 19, Patriots 16, Steelers 16.
I don't feel great about
And
this
if
one, but
if you miss this one, of course, you guys get that chance to
gonna
steal.
go with The Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys, huh? Survey says 14 conference championship appearances. Good for 4th place. There's only 3 more on the list.
Okay.
And this is where, of course, the Radio Star team, they're thinking of what they want to guess if you should fumble. But you can close them out, freeze them out if you get the next 3.
Okay, before Verlot answers, Denver Broncos.
Meow.
Survey says with 11, yes, they're tied for 6th. There's only 2 more on the board.
Oh, tied for 6th.
Chris Verlot has anything to add? As of yet, he does not.
Okay. Very good.
He's iced out.
So, I'll tell everybody here. We've got one team with 12 conference championship game appearances and another with 11. Those are the 2 left on the list.
12 and 11,
Yes.
he says.
Yes, so it's 5th, and then a team tied with the Broncos for 6th, so that makes their top 7.
I miss
2
Steve
strikes
Harvey.
against you. Yeah.
Okay.
If you miss, they get to steal. If you make it, you get one chance to lock them out, freeze them out, win the game.
That is true.
And I will take, if Verlot happens to buzz in
I
here,
will-
if he texts me, I'll have to take his answer.
Well, in that case, I better go faster. I will go with the New York Football Giants.
The New York Football Giants. Legendary franchise.
You think?
One of the original NFL franchises. If it's on the board, your march to victory
surfing
continues. If
over
not,
there?
they have the chance to steal. Survey says New York Giants. Strike 3. That means Matt George. You guys could talk it over.
We did.
Of course.
I think we.
But first,
You have a chance to win it right here. You're
Bears,
still not necessarily
Bears
out of it.
is the first
Chris
team that
Verlot.
comes to mind, but I don't want to be wrong.
But you
It's
just.
either Bears or who else would make the most sense with the Bears?
Mine was the Broncos guess.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's go with the Bears.
Chicago Bears?
Yeah.
Chicago.
What an idiot.
With 8 appearances, remember you need 11 to be on this list.
Oh.
With 8, we have the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
With 9, we have Washington, the Eagles, and the Packers. With 11, tied with the Broncos. If it's Bears, you win. It's the Raiders, which means number 5.
What the heck?
With 12 on 12 here, championship game appearances. If it's Bears, you win. If it's not, Kyle and Verlot win. Survey says Los Angeles Rams. Congratulations, the Bulldogs have walked it off. What a victory today in the football feud. And a great match, well played by everyone.
That was a terrible guess, Matt.
You're a bad host, Steve. I miss Steve Harvey.
That was an awful
us
guess.
Steve.
The Bears.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I supposed to think the Raiders are good? They're not good.
The Bears have been to like 4.
Oh, by the way, Chris Verlad just texted Rams.
Oh.
No, doesn't count. He's on our team.
He's right. They win. Well
A
played.
stupid game, man.
It was
Stupid
kinda fun.
game. Stupid show.
It's kinda fun.
Stupid week.
Kayla, are your
Stupid
shoulders
Kyle.
sore from carrying
Yes.
Matt through that game?
And I said Broncos. I wish Kyle would have.
Yo, I'd
given
also
us a
I
chance.
nominated captain, and she failed at the first one.
Well, I got the.
She
top
got the
2.
second answer.
Was it number 1?
No.
I had to come up with number 5 or whatever.
And you
Stupid.
failed miserably.
Yeah, whatever. The
Be that
drive,
as it may.
drive guys are next. Kyle's with them now because he's a traitor and he's bad at games, and I'm bad at this show. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Peace.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe.